Lord carries people down. I don't know.
It'll make a lot more sense at the end of the session. It'll make more sense. I don't know if it'll make a lot more sense. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay.
We'll have to see how it goes. Wants to do the recap?
Oh God.
Sure. I will recap. Volunteer.
Okay, that's a good idea. I believe you're one of the people that, I assume you're one of the people that needs your,
I did spend mine.
Apoco point. Actually,
Yeah,
no, you got yours back. It's John and Will who need it.
Oh. Oh, okay.
If one of you guys want your point back before the session starts, this is your chance.
Oh God.
But if not, Steven can have it. I forgot what I said I would do for Steven if he did it.
I didn't even bother. I completely forgot to watch the stream yesterday, so I can't remember much of anything.
Oh, on that note, Skylar, did you end up getting a chance to look at the one shot?
I didn't know.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, shoot, Steven, you're up.
Okay, so last time we picked up where we ran into the lockjaws. And enough, we actually managed to avoid fighting the lockjaws. Lockjaws didn't seem super keen on fighting us. And sort of moved this way, and the lockjaws sort of moved this way, and then they sort of followed us a bit, but we managed to successfully get ourselves out of this clearing in woods. We had to hold our breaths because it was really nasty and smoky and, toxic. I believe the Lord Keep was the only one who succeeded on his save against it, which is ironic, given he's the one who could use air. So everyone else was on a shorter fuse on that, but got to the edge of the cliff, get down to the lower level, or the lowest level of the plateau. There's still we have to go from the plateau to the ground, which we haven't done yet. But we got to the edge, crossed by the ship that the Lord Keeper had gone into previously, and there've been a lot of dead bodies. And started ferrying people down. Rest was successful at convincing people that it was okay for him to carry them. This probably in part stemmed from the fact that he had also saved the kid when the kid had fallen, and had carried people down the one previously, so they'd had some experience, the idea that, he wasn't going to just drop them. But, he carried down some of the group, and then suspicious youth, whose name we learned is Ivan, wanted to search the wreckage, convinced some of the others they needed to search the wreckage. The Lord Keeper was not particularly thrilled with this when he came back up, but he continued helping everyone else get down, aside from those who were supervising the searching and searching. Got everybody down, or he got everybody who wanted to go down, that first group down, at which point that group also then was heading towards the clearing, in which there had previously been the battle between the big range and otherwise with the lockjaws. And, Bress and Atlas. Ashley. Sorry, not Alice. Sorry. A names. So, Bress and Ashley and the others went there. Found some loot. Bress definitely likes to get the loot. He has prioritized getting the loot in all situations. Ashley administered Sims to a lockjaw that proceeded to run away was not a very grateful lockjaw.
You don't know that.
From what we saw, was not the most grateful of lockjaws. Loot was found there. Pulling back, the Lord Keeper continued his efforts to get everybody down. He had to fly. When he got back up there again, found Reika was unconscious. Had to grab her and fly her all the way over to the clearing. Back with some discussion between him and Ivan and a man and the wife. I don't remember everybody's names. I need to make a document where I just list everybody's names for all the NPCs. I don't remember the name of the man who was also with Ivan in there.
Wushen.
Wushen. Okay. Wushen. He had a discussion with Ivan and Wushen, and then he went back to get the other people who were on the ledge and take them. One of them was Wushen's wife, who wasn't willing to go without her husband, and then there was the man who, I don't think we got the name of that man, but there was the man who refused to go without, who refused to go because he thought it was, he thought that he was a man, so he should stay. And Lord Keeper took him. Kim first, and dropped off the drink. And then went back, and got Wushen's wife, and took her over. And then went back, and found that Ivan was, impaled himself through the leg on a pole in the wreckage. And Wushen was, using some sort of oxygen tank thing to breathe. And the Lord Keeper, with some help, managed to get, Ivan no longer impaled, and flew him camp where he, well, to the clearing where he dropped him off, and he flew back and he got Wushen and he brought Wushen back too. And during that time, we also had the work by Ashley where she healed Ivan yet again with more patch stims. And used up basically all of her patch stims, because she's been healing a lot of people. Lord Keeper came back with Wushen. We had some in-character conversations. Ashley received medkit, so now she actually has something that she can use to heal people with. Because the Lord Keeper recognized that, or the Lord Keeper believes that she has an ability to heal people by touching them. And then we ended up proceeding to the wreckage of the third part of the ship, and we did a bit of looting of the bodies around it, and got some cool stuff. So the Lord Keeper ended up giving the stuff to other people. The group, Wushen got the crowbar, and Anne, who had been arguing with Wushen's wife, the axe that the Lord Keeper found. The Lord Keeper did keep the food that he found. Well, the food and water that he found, though he's probably going to give those to people if needed, because he doesn't actually need to eat. And we were also going, and Bress also had expressed getting into the ship apart and searching it. But I believe that is about where we cut off after we had a conversation between the Lord Keeper and a couple of the others about how the people from Luna were an insular group and that it would probably take some doing before everybody was everybody.
Yeah, I believe you guys had that conversation and you were now heading off towards the wreck because you guys were kind of a distance away, a little bit away from it and everyone else.
Yeah, Brett sat down an entrance to the ship and had, like, peeked his head in, but then the conversation kind of took over, so nothing coming back quite yet. But,
Okay. I think that was a good recap. I don't know what's like I don't think balanced is the word I'm looking for. I don't know what a fair reward for that was, but I do think you deserve something, Steven. So, if
I enjoy doing the summaries because it also addresses it for me, and I try to pay attention.
we will I don't know, if you guys think of something that comes up in the session, feel free to yell it out if you're like, this seems legit. And if not, I'll have some idea done up by next session.
Okay.
I did have an idea that popped into my head yesterday when I was doing some work for the game. What if, how's everyone feel about this, if instead of having individual Apoco points, you guys had a pool that you shared with each other? So it would be the same amount, but you guys would just have a pool that everyone can use.
I don't trust myself. No.
I didn't catch that, John.
I don't trust myself with a share pool, so you know.
That is fair.
Part of the reason I'm asking is because that would definitely make compensating people who do good recaps easier, because then I could just be like, you guys get one of your points back.
I mean, technically, you could do it where people have multiple.
Yeah, but at that point, I'd rather just have the pool.
There could be some XP given out in a not high amount.
Nope, not gonna give out experience. That's definitely not happening. You guys are only getting experience for things you guys do.
Technically, I do that.
For things your characters do. And I'm also thinking of lowering the location discovery experience. It's 100, but yeah. We'll have to see, because it's like, that's basically every time you run into a new place, you get 10% of the experience that that you would get for a level.
But given the way we gain experience, we can go for multiple sessions without getting any. So
You could also just go to a bunch of places in a session if you guys decided to avoid the things I put in front of you. We haven't seen that happen yet, but that's why I haven't decided whether or not I'm actually going to change it. I think I am. Right now, I think if I do change it, it'll be to like 50% of what it was before, so 50 experience. So I'm not completely getting rid of it, but make it so you have to find a few more places before you get the same amount of experience you would have. Or maybe maybe make a little bit of extra work for myself and like denote like different tiers of places. So if you go find a place that's dubbed more important, you get more experience, and if it's like less important, you'll get less experience, you know, like major and minor places, something like that. But yeah, we can resume where we left off. We'll jump over to Bress for now. Yeah, there was a opening to this last portion of the ship that you had found, and there was like some debris you'd have to climb up to get into it, and like an opening that you could see like the inside of the ship, not very much of it, and you could tell that there was more to it than you could see. You could see that it continued onwards.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he definitely wants to have a look inside. Does the debris look dangerous to climb, or is it something that's pretty low risk to get up in there?
It could be. It definitely could be.
Is it something that he could like use to utility tarp to like make a ramp to like kind of like get over it?
Utility tarps are so weird.
it can do so many things.
It can.
And they can support a lot of weight. You can just make them into the shape you want and then walk up the ramp you made with your tarp.
I think it could help you, but it will take you a lot longer to get up because the utility tarp is nowhere as long as it's not as long as the debris pile you need to get up. So you'd have to like lay it down, move up, pull it back underneath you, lay it down again.
So in that case, he will call back to the others. He's not a physical guy, and he knows it. It's not his strength. I found an opening to the ship here. We need some people to help investigate.
Have you guys heard of the 5-second rule?
The Lord Keeper is on his way over. With the others. I'm not sure if he's actually... I guess he's within earshot.
We've talked about this on this game before, but I'll throw it out once again. If you're in command of the scene, if you're the one talking, and you leave the floor open to others, unless I immediately jump in and say something about the situation, that means it's up to everyone else to respond to that person.
Okay, well, the Lord Keeper coming over, and
I mentioned my...
well, she would... Will was going. Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Last session I did mention I actually planned on trying to salvage parts of the wreck, so she'll probably pitch in and help. It was part of her little her job, her work.
Okay. Yeah.
Investigate the ship and see what we could salvage. Right now we're also hoping for survivors, maybe.
It's probably a good idea. I'm okay with doing that, Will, but this comes back to the thing we were talking about a few moments ago, where Skylar just opened the floor up to you guys, and nobody's come and answered. Like, Bress has left out this call to arms, and he's just being left there right now.
Well, the Lord Keeper comes over. Alright. Need to get into the ship. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the climbing looks like it might be a bit much for me, but there may be survivors in it.
Keeper looks at you. Looks at the others. Is there anyone here who's actually good at climbing?
Actually, immediately just looks away.
Yeah, Ivan will step forward and be like, none of you can take care of it, I will. Yeah, we'll just leave it up to the NPC. He'll go take care of it all, so you guys don't have to.
Well, I mean, the Lord Keeper will also try to climb up. He's not particularly good at it. He was just asking if anyone was. Alright. Let's go. Maybe there will be survivors. Oh, I did see a bunch of your people. Corpses over there. Not sure how they got there. But I wouldn't be too hopeful. It seems the safety things may have failed in your ship. Aside from the ones where you were. They seem to work because you're all here. Good.
It might also be a sign that some of them actually survived, landing on the surface and did start to leave before something got them. So it's worth checking if any are still in there, maybe unable to move or unconscious.
Yeah, and not in imminent risk of death due to fire right now. So I agree, it's definitely worth checking. Make sure. There could be people who need help, and it is my duty to help them. But stands up taller at that,
First, give him a tiny little approving nod.
Lawful good paladin.
Yeah, I would say if we had to assign alignments, the Lord Keeper of the book is pretty lawful good.
Thank God we don't have to use alignments.
Yeah,
I think that's a really neutral evil or something, but, whatever.
yeah.
Alignments are for systems that lack imagination. It's my philosophy.
I was just saying, I think of the D&D alliance, that fit him best. But yeah, what do I need to roll to try to climb this thing?
Well, because of the nature of this specific wreck, if you want to just use a strain, you could get to the entrance. You could just pass the climbing challenge that everyone else is going to have getting in. But, like, comparative to what you've done up to this point, it would be the equivalent of, like, jumping where everyone else is just going to run.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna use it for that.
Okay. Yeah, because it's basically like 7 meters of debris that people are gonna have to climb up. So it's a lot less than what you've done up to this point. If you guys want to give me, I don't know, athletics checks, sound great. One physical skill to rule them all.
Yeah, I need to freaking level. I need to put a rank in that. I really should. If I realized that there was one skill for all the physical stuff, I would have put ranks in that. But this is the first time character building. All right, here we go. Lord Keeper of the Book. Oh, okay. Oh, Lord Keeper.
Super athletic.
Nice.
Athletics.
That was a natural 12, wasn't it? Nice. Okay.
Fly,
No. It's not good. Okay. Let's get all the other athletics checks out of the way real quick. I'll throw out Ivan's, and as Ivan starts to climb up behind Rika, Wishen will start climbing up with him. You see him run over from his wife and start climbing up behind Ivan.
Yeah, Jacob, do you mind real quick making a additional notes?
Yeah. Private, public?
Public works. I was just gonna put the NPC names and general information, like, that we know. But I can keep track of all the names.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm not good at names, and I'm good at remembering the people. Like, I can tell you what the assorted people we have identified themselves have done, but I'm really bad at reading.
There you go. Okay, this first roll will be for Ivan. And this second one will be for Wishen. Okay. Yeah, as you guys are climbing your way up, you're only like 2 meters away from getting to the top. Lord Keeper of the Book and Rika. You feel the debris shifting below you, and you go to grab like some kind of exhaust hose to like pull yourself up, and you start sliding off. You want to help her? You could try Lord Keeper of the Book. She is falling right now.
We'll make an attempt. Help.
Okay, how are you gonna do that?
Right. We'll try to grab her.
Okay. I don't know. We'll just go with athletics again. And we'll do dexterity base this time. Nice. So you start falling, Rika, and Lord Keeper of the Books reaches down with one of his hands and he pulls you up by your left arm, the one that gave way.
She turns to him and says, "Thank you."
We need help. Just be more careful. Sort of things can be hazardous.
Next time, think about who you're falling behind. And you guys, sorry about that, John.
No, it's okay. I just want to.
No.
Just, okay. Thank you, but I don't think I can really help who I fall on.
That's fair. You won't get a response from Ivan. He'll just keep climbing up behind you guys. And Wushen as well. He just wasn't saying anything at all. Yeah, you guys you'll climb up into the quote-unquote entrance. This was not an entrance before now.
Right. Those.
Pre-flight, this was a wall. Post-flight.
Wall that no longer exists.
Post-flight, it's a big ol' hole in it. And you get to the top of this debris pile, and you have to move in like half a meter in, and then you have to get down on all fours and crawl in through this wreckage. It's more of a crouch than a crawl.
Okay.
And after going like a few meters in, crouching down in this very claustrophobic space, you make it in and you can see multiple rows of chairs in front of you at a slight incline. Nothing like the wreckage on the middle plateau. Nowhere as extreme as that. And inside you can see a couple noteworthy things. Only 3 rows in front of you, you see someone's body hooked up with some kind of mask on their face, and they're slouched forward, but you can see a bunch of blood coming from the floor below them. That's dripped down like all the way down to you. So you're kind of standing in like this very shallow stream of blood that's going past your feet into some crevices in the wreck, presumably somewhere down below the ship, if it's not burning up somewhere down there. And then you can see another person like 5 more rows back on the opposite set of seats, who is actually like strapped in, held back on his chair, and also has a mask on his face.
Right. Yeah, Lord Keeper is gonna move up. He's gonna check and see if they're alive. He's not particularly hopeful, especially with the person who has blood all over the place, but there's a chance.
Okay. I'm gonna go check out the first guy. What's everyone else doing? Everyone else in the ship, aka Rika.
Maybe, okay, wait, give me a description of the guy again.
Which one? I can't give you descriptions of either.
Just give me a moment again.
I intentionally didn't give you guys descriptions because there isn't any light being provided in here, and they're far away. I just pointed out that you could see masks on them because they're pretty obvious.
Yeah, that was the one thing I wanted to know. It's just masks.
Yeah, they both have like masks that have a few very soft lights coming off of them.
Do they look like gas masks?
I don't know. Go check them out.
Yeah, just check them out.
Okay. I would like you guys to start specifying a little bit more what you're doing than just, I'm gonna go check the guys out. So I'm gonna assume that you're gonna go check the closest guy out with the blood.
Okay, I will.
Just who the Lord Keeper is checking first to see if he's alive, because he's the closer one.
Yeah.
The Lord Keeper's planning to go check that one, and then if he's dead, he's going to go check the other one as quickly as possible, seeing if they're alive or not.
Okay. Lord Keeper of the Book, you start moving up towards the third row of seats where the man who is letting out a lot of blood, or has been letting out a lot of blood, is. And as you get to like in between the second and third row, like basically right next to him, there is a like very obvious shift in the shuttle itself, weighted towards the back end. It's very abrupt, and it seems like the shuttle you're in right now is unstable. If only moving a few meters in is going to adjust its placement.
Alright. Be careful. This place is not stable. Relax. A moment.
Yeah, Washen will pipe up when you bring that up, Lord Keeper of the Book. We're all going to be in here. We need to make sure we're all spaced out. If we move slowly, one at a time as we make our way down, there is a much lower risk of any of us being hurt. We don't know the structural integrity of the ship, so everyone move slow, be careful, and communicate.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense. I'm going to try and check bodies. See if the people are alive. They are. Call back. Someone else who has medical training can come up. Check as well. Well, if there might still be something, hostile in here, or to know for sure. I already seen lockjaws. They're nastier things than lockjaws. Drawn to the blood.
Washen will pipe up to Ivan. You've been very helpful up to this point, but I would appreciate it if, while we're moving through this debris, you stayed here down at the beginning of it, just in case anything happens and we do need your help. Have you be prepared to go let others know or come up to us? Whatever you want, boss. And with that, Lord Keeper of the Book, you start walking just a little bit more you need to get a proper view of this bleeding man. When you get there, it doesn't look that good. You see that the head you were able to see from the entrance of this ship is a lot better off than the vast majority of his body. You see dozens of chunks taken out of primarily the right side, that's the inner portion of this aisle's of this man's body, and that's where the vast majority of the blood is coming from. you could see that he's still strapped in across his waist, but his basically his straps that would go over his chest have been torn off, and it's hard to tell by what. That is where all the blood is coming from, though, as all these bite wounds where chunks are missing of this man. And now that you're closer to him, I can give you a little bit more information. He's not going to have that much, though, because a huge portion of his body is missing, like down to the bone. There's a darker-skinned, middle-aged man with a very scruffy-looking beard, and very, very short hair. He does have what looks like a very old scar on his face, like a burn scar, in the shape of like a small circular ring on the opposite side of you. And otherwise, he's wearing very like drab looking clothing with some padding on it, especially around it's especially thick. There's actually probably, yeah, definitely metal reinforcements for the padding around the knees, the feet, and the elbows, as well as the wrist. Not anything super thick though, just thin sheets, you can tell. And it's all a like dark gray and green mix, which is actually pretty common among the Lunites, I believe is what we settled on.
Lunites. Yeah, you could do that. There's could do a reference to a really old book and called them Selenites.
No. We're going with Lunites. I think Skylar's the one who threw that out. I like it. It sounds the best.
Or it was go really confusing. Loonians.
I think that's what I said at first, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, unfortunately.
Lunarians.
That's a Final Fantasy reference. If I remember correctly.
Hey, you might not be able to see me, but I'm listening.
Yeah, I know. I just know I don't believe.
I'm just trying to fix my hair.
Okay, so the Lord Keeper... Can the Lord Keeper make a survival check trying to identify whether these wounds from a lockjaw or something else?
Yeah. Throw it out there. Okay. Yeah, you're noticing that all of these are lockjaw wounds, but it definitely wasn't one lockjaw. You can see that there are multiple different sized wounds, especially with how close they got to the flesh. There's a pretty large alpha based on the size of some of these wounds. Normally the biggest lockjaws are alphas, that's why I'm saying that.
Okay. So he looks... Lockjaw. Here for savage this man. Going to attempt to take the mask and tank from the man.
Okay.
And
It's in a precarious state, so I am going to ask you for a check to be able to take it off him without actually harming it, like with it being intact still.
okay.
But it is definitely doable. I'm thinking that you could I feel like this one You could either justify like a science check or I would also let you do like a survival check. I think both of those would be fair. Those could be justified.
Okay, I'll go with survival. It's an 8.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough for you to pull it off without damaging it any further. You will need to repair it before it's used for whatever function it is. It's the same thing that Mahim had. It just looks different because it's not like standard issue.
You mean Shen, right?
I said Mahim again, didn't I?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know why Mahim.
They're not even like, they don't have the same archetype. They don't talk the same. They don't look the same.
Yeah,
I don't even think the names really sound similar. Like,
Don't. So what do you want me to do? So what do I put this down at?
okay. Just for now, let's just call it a broken rebreather.
Who blames this on the Mandela effect?
I don't know what that is, but if you want to elaborate, I'm willing to listen.
Okay, so you know how, like, everyone remembers this one thing, but it turns out to be, like, the exact opposite?
That sounds like a thing.
Yeah, like the Bernstein Bears. People confuse it with Bernstein.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's, like, multiple versions of that. It's a really weird thing.
Alright, so he got the broken rebreather, and then he's going to call back the big lockjaw got out. And then, right, this man is beyond the saving. Really half of him. I will check the other. Just maybe move, because I'm going to be moving further up. Risk of this place shifting if many of us move. He's going to start heading the other man.
Okay. Can I get a navigation check from you?
Sure. I was a natural 12.
Nice.
Your dice are on fire today.
I have rolled well so far.
Okay. Yeah. As you're making your way very slowly down this path, you're able to circumvent some of the sketchier looking places that you think might lead to any more unnecessary shifting of the wreckage that you're currently in. And you're able to do it well enough that the people behind you, assuming they listen to you, can also come along the precarious path for which you're going.
Okay.
Which Shen is definitely willing to do.
Okay.
Is Rika going up there?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. Because I'm not going to make assumptions for you guys from here on out. So if you don't say you're doing something, I'm not going to assume you're doing something.
I know, sorry. Been trying to help it.
I'm really trying to reinforce that. I'm not making any assumptions for you guys, besides if you don't say you're doing something, that you're not doing something.
Fair.
Yeah, as you guys start making your way up towards the man, you do still hear a slight groaning from the ship the farther back you get. But you're able to make it to the final man that you can spot, and now that you're up next to him, there's actually a couple things you can see. You see the man himself, which I'm going to describe in a second, but you can actually see a partially opened, like not even a proper door, more like a very small access, like hatch, at the back of the ship, about 4 rows farther back. Yeah, that adds up. Yeah. Okay, that adds up. I had to do some mental math real quick. Make sure I have the right amount of rows in the ship. But the man himself, seems to, like I said, he's still strapped in. Once again, another middle-aged man, maybe somewhere between 5 and 10 years younger than the last fellow you saw.
Okay.
His mask is still latched on, but it's not directly connected to his face. And now that you can see him, you can actually tell that his eyes have been blown out of his socket. There's blood running down them, like a handful of drops, and his skin is like extremely pale.
Okay. Looks for the bookkeeper just does a quick once over. Can you see any actual injuries?
Yeah, I mean, give me a, I don't know, give me a tech, medical, or perception.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Roll ourselves a perception check. Yeah, there we go. There was a set before.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's gone wrong with this man. I don't think you've ever seen anything like this before, but upon like closer inspection of his body, you can see that like multiple places on his person, there are very large bruises, and you can actually, where you do see exposed skin, you see a lot of very blue veins, especially in the face and the neck.
Okay. Man, must have dead. What killed him?
Looks like it was either. It quite puzzles me as well.
Eyes are gone. Doesn't look like the lockjaw's been at him. I'm looking at the other.
Oh, they're still there. They've just partially come out of the socket.
Okay. His eyes are on. I don't think he would have changed what he said.
That's
the
fair.
eyes are like. And it doesn't look like lockjaw's been at it. They know something. But the access. No, not access. He wouldn't have said it. There's a door. Opening. They're back. It's deeper in. Not sure how safe it is to go further. Don't think anyone else on the ship knows this part of the ship is alive, but might be things of value back there.
Yes, but we also run the risk of tipping over the ship entirely.
Yeah, Chad. You know something about these containers. Gestures at the. Is it, it have the roll thing in it.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, he pointed at the oxygen container, the thing the guy was breathing out of, and asked if Confucian knows something about it. Confucian used one.
Okay.
It could have the wrong thing in it.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll come check the body out. Sorry, everyone just went silent all of a sudden. I was like, I must have missed something. I must have not.
I was waiting for Fouchet's response.
Yeah, he'll come check the man out in the darkness of this cabin. So really, with like the way these are set up, you'll need to like move further up the row or like go into a seat so that you can get by. Because remember, this is like a very claustrophobic, tight space.
And the Lord Keeper's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, it wasn't even made for regular sized humans, so you're like bent over this whole time.
He's sort of hunching because he's big.
You're like
Tall.
sit down in one of the seats. You're like, I can't even do it because I'll fall in the seat.
Yeah, he can take.
He'll move up slightly.
You move up to like the next row of seats so that Wushen can get by after. Well, Rika, you're gonna need to move too. Squeezing past people here is not really an option.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll move all the way.
Okay, just move over to one of the seats. Look at
Yeah,
that.
I'm just going to sit down. Modern engineering.
Nice. You sit down in one of these cramped seats, and Wushen, Wushen, I'm saying Wu now, Wushen, he'll come up and he'll inspect the man. This is not a thing he is good at. But he does it anyways. I don't know. It looks like his rebreather came loose. It might have been something inside of it. I would say they were exposed to atmosphere, but the other man didn't look anything like this. Could have just been bad air.
Don't think we want to take that one then.
I wouldn't worry about it. Once these things are empty, we don't have any way to refill them. Maybe you do down here, but not on Luna. Once they're empty, they're useless.
Right. I just think we check the other area, or should we leave? I don't think anyone's locking in here. Lockjaws and Adam. Except him. Might be something valuable, but time I don't think valuables are worth our lives.
Ivan will pipe up. I'm trying to leave the floor open for players, but I guess I shouldn't. There's a compartment in the back of the ship. We should check it out. There might be survivors there. Even if a lockjaw came in here, maybe they hid down there.
Air doesn't look like be that Joe's got distracted and out after feasting on this one man. Doesn't look like they finished. Joe can certainly eat on flesh on one hand, especially given there were multiple. One of them was a big one. Oh, possible they didn't get all the way in.
Did see a pack? We did see a pack earlier. Who knows how many are out there? It feels like we're in the middle of a hotspot for them.
Swore. Packs come when there's dead. Like birds. Like ground equivalents, vultures. Okay, actually, that's what Jacob. Did some variant of vultures survive the apocalypse? I would assume they did, but...
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Like ground vultures.
The Knights have no idea what you're talking about anymore.
I know, but I just...
They know what like 3 animals are, and you've just given them a 4th to worry about. Maybe they know, maybe Bress knows about, like, vultures because of his background. There's a slim chance. But the vast majority of people, you're saying vultures for everyone who has an understanding of these creatures.
Yeah,
Honestly, I just kind of like, I just like to imagine that Rebecca knows like a bunch of like mythical creatures that she thinks is real.
Oh, Rika can think she knows whatever creature she wants to think she knows. I think the person who actually would know the most creatures here is either Lord Keeper of the Book or Ashley, since Ashley's actually been on Earth before. You'll just point out a bunch of creatures that she's like, no, I haven't seen that. That definitely didn't exist 200 years ago.
I just imagine like it's going up to like a murder victim and be like, this must be the work of a vampire.
So we got one person who like has potentially like textbook or like oral knowledge that's been passed down to him about creatures. We have another person who's probably actually seen a bunch of creatures before the Scream, and then we have one person who's lived in a post-Scream world, and then at the very bottom, somewhere way down there, we have someone who's like, vampires are real, man.
just got a hold of all those, just a bunch of old, like, mythology bestiaries.
Yeah. Yeah, so, the Keeper is going to try make his way further in this hatch.
Yeah, there's only a few more rolls that you have to go down, and with your very good navigation roll, as I've said, you're able to navigate your way down here. Avoid any particularly dangerous looking footsteps or handholds that might lead to catastrophe. And you make it to this hatch. And unlike the doors we've seen up to this point, this is much smaller, like I said, and you can actually see that this is a different make. Like, this is very obviously a different make. As I've said before, this ship, quote unquote, is actually this amalgamation of a bunch of different pieces, including multiple different vehicles, and this access hatch is very clearly not related to any of the proper doors you guys have gone to up to this point.
Okay. So he's gonna try to look in through it.
Yeah, you open it up, and on the inside you can see a very, very cramped space, more so than anything you guys have dealt with at this point. It is probably physically impossible. I think it's physically impossible for the Lord Keeper to go in it, just because of how much room he would need for his joints to bend.
Yeah, because the Lord Keeper is big, and he's got his wings. So his wings do fold up real well, and they're weird like that. But yeah, he's tall. I don't know how well he fit, but he's gonna try to look in.
Yeah.
Call out.
There's this tight ladder you would need to climb down. It's at a weird angle now, so you really don't need the ladder holds themselves. The ladder rungs, I think it is. Because they're just metal bars that stick out. They're individual. They're not all connected. It's really tight though. It goes down only a few meters, like 3. And then you can see what looks like what like should be a like metal floor that seems to move out of your vision in both directions in this hexagon shape. Looks pretty wide though if you compare the like direction for which each end goes and how big the ship is. It might actually go around a decent part of the very back of this ship.
Okay, the Lord Keeper is going to call out into the hole. It went down there. It'd help. I can't fit. You're gonna have to come up. Lockjaws aren't here. Creatures. Attack other people in your ship aren't here.
How big is Rika? What's her height?
Do
you have this written down?
I'm pretty sure I have it written down.
Okay.
If not,
Well, I mean, if you think you have it written down, find it.
yeah, if I heard it now.
It would be important. Because I know Washen couldn't get in there, and Lord Keeper of the Books couldn't get in there. It would be hard for Ivan, but he is the smallest of the 3 men here.
I'll say she's 5'6".
Okay, it would definitely be the easiest for you to get in here then. Lunites grow tall, generally speaking, so you being 5'6", even for a woman, is a little bit on the short side. No, that's fine. It's okay. You're not like a dwarf or anything. You're just a little shorter than is normal. Where like Ivan, even though he's not an adult, he's still a teenager. He's just at about the 6 foot mark, and then Washen is a few inches taller than him.
So the Lord Keeper, he is very, like he's just very, very tall.
Yeah, you're
It runs the family.
you're a foot taller than Ivan, and I mean that might change in the future.
Lunites grow tall, and then we've got this guy who's just abnormally big for being just really tall. For down here or up there, I guess.
Yeah.
But most people down here are not as tall.
No, like probably the tallest person any of you have seen on Luna would be like 6'8". That's like a tall person, a tall male on Luna. And you're averaging between like 6 and 6'4" for a male, and then a few inches less for a female.
Did the Lord Keeper get any response to a call?
Cough, cough, other player in the room.
He called out down into
I know.
the hole.
I know. You didn't.
No, I'm just going to go rest it. I'm going to climb down here.
Roll new characters.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that, John, but you need to add, like, context. Like, at the very least, be like, I push my way past everyone since I'm not saying anything, and I start climbing down.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I go up to, like, I just say, like, excuse me, maybe I can find people around here.
Can fit. Oh, sure. The Keeper is going to awkwardly bend himself so that he can temporarily fit in a like push into a area, so he's out of the way, so that you can get.
It looks very awkward to everyone paying attention to the Lord Keeper getting into a seat. Getting into a seat is really like him moving his legs as he's hunched over into like a row of seats and then just bending over to the side, because if he tried to sit down, he really couldn't.
Yeah.
Like at first he just tries to sit down, but that didn't work, so he just kind of like turned, like just does like 180, just lays down like that.
Just sort of, this is this contorted punch thing going on. Get out of the way. Oh, he won't say.
I'm just imagining him with the Texas spot.
So, you go down there. I can't fix. I can't come down there if there's a problem. Goes wrong. Tell me.
I give him a quick nod and I start climbing down.
At the first sign of any danger, Rika, let me know. I'll come down. Wishen might be able to fit, but I know I can. It'll be tight, but I can get down there if you need me.
Thank you. And down I go.
Okay. Yeah.
I am playing Metro now.
It's so awkward climbing down at this angle, because if the ship was set up the way you guys ended up being, that like if we were looking at it vertically with the head of the ship at the top and the base of the ship at the bottom, you'd be able to climb down this ladder, but you're having to like walk on top of the rungs that you'd be able to climb down as you make your way down. So it's very fucking awkward. But you're able to do it. And when you get down there, there is, as I said before, two paths that go that revolve around the center of the ship, and you can see multiple large exposed cylindrical pieces on the inside with a bunch of fried wiring that's like haphazardly like strapped to it, hanging off of it, latched down where the floor should be. There's a bunch of it hanging down towards you, and in the center is what looks like a bulkhead that leads up and down on the ship, and you can see in both directions a bunch of welds from these pieces of metal that spread out from the central chunk of metal that are keeping all of these cylinders connected to each other. These used to be engines and or fuel silos. I'll wait to decide if I'll wait to see if Rika actually knows.
I just shout out. It seems to be some kind of arcane power that brings propulsion to the ship. That's all I... Okay, you know, actually, I'll make a check for it. What check do I need to do to see if I know what this is?
Tech post tech.
Okay. Hey, you know.
Nice. Yeah, I wasn't actually saying far from the truth. It's it's very dangerous, but the propulsion system and the fuel silos were the exact same container. They should be connected to each other, but in this case, they were legitimately the same container. And you're looking at a bunch of wiring that's connecting all these individual silos to each other, and seems to be running into the base of the ship. And actually, with this roll, you're able to tell that this panel that you hadn't recognized until you started moving around some of the wires at the base of this entrance you just came in, seems to be partially exposed, and you can see like a computing system that's on the inside of what you thought was just this bulkhead. They put a lot in the back for some reason. You're not sure why, but it got you here.
Never mind about the arcane system. It is actually an engine. Can I check out this panel?
Yeah, like I said, it's bent and it's partially exposing some like
Sorry. Wait, no, sorry. I was thinking it was like actually like a computer screen. Never mind.
No, it's like a metal panel that is partially exposing a computer system.
I'm thinking too futuristic.
It's not that there weren't futuristic components. Like, there was stuff on this ship that we like don't have in real life right now. This part just isn't.
Duh. It's just no, I meant like to like advance for a post-apocalyptic society. So there, you said there were paths that I could go, right?
Yeah, these are a lot more vertical, so you're actually going to have to do some climbing, but you'll be able to use, it's dangerous, but if you want to, it's potentially dangerous. You could use the exposed wiring everywhere to make it a lot easier to climb up either side.
Either way, I'm not good at climbing, and it will kill me. Okay, never mind. I'm not going in any direction because I can't climb for the life of me.
Okay.
There are any survivors down there?
No, it seems like it's just purely an engine room. I'm going to see if there's any bodies or anything. Can I search for any survivors or any tools?
Yeah, there's not going to be, with like the size of this, I guess access tunnel is the best way to put it, unless they're on like the opposite end of this roundabout or somehow tied up on either side. You're not going to find any bodies down here. Otherwise, they would be down by your feet, unless, like I said, they're tied up somehow, or just directly opposite of you, conveniently. So no bodies immediately obvious, but you could try and look around for quote-unquote tools.
Like, tools, just anything, yeah. I'll do that. Perception?
Yeah. Yeah, down here in this little portion that that you're willing to venture, there really isn't much down here beyond what I've described. There is that just all around you, these tangle of exposed wires, primarily exposed wires. And as you're moving around, you like looking through it, you actually manage to shock yourself on one that's still alive. It hurts, but you're able to pull your hand away before anything too bad happens.
At least it didn't injure yourself. Actually, wait, I can see it. Is there any... Yeah, exactly. Question. Is there any way to shut off the electricity in here? If not, do I know the engine is currently running?
Well, it doesn't sound like it's running, and you guys could definitely Even at the front of the ship, you could definitely hear it a little bit when it was initially taking off, and you could hear it when the ship was falling apart in atmosphere. So I don't think the engine's running, at least not in any obvious capacity. I've kind of already given you like everything I can with the rolls you've provided. Maybe if you can access that panel properly, like if you can open it, you might be able to do something with that. Because like I said, it's obviously like some computing piece in there that you can see. You just don't have proper access to it because only part of it's bent away.
Can I see if I can rip it off?
Yeah. A strength athletics check.
I have a crowbar.
Doesn't it give you a bonus to that?
I don't know, but I have a crowbar. So
Come on. If you're gonna use the item, help me out here.
I know.
I remember it gives you a bonus. I just don't remember what the bonus is.
I'm trying to find the actual
Crowbar. Primitive but effective as a tool for smashing up salvage, prying open ordinary old Terran doors, and handling the sort of abuse that would quickly destroy a weapon. Crowbars can be used one-handed clubs or two for damage using strength. Okay, so there isn't any specifics to it. I'll let it give you a +1 on this.
Okay, and that'll be what check?
Strength athletics. I think a crowbar could help you open this panel, especially since you have a very obvious place to get some leverage in there. Was that with the +1?
That was with the +1.
Oh god.
Ow.
Okay, yeah, no, you're not. You try using your crowbar to open it up. You manage to bend it back a teeny bit, but not enough for you to actually interact with it.
I need some assistance down here. I lack the muscles to properly open a panel.
There's no survivors down there. You should get out of here.
What kind of panel did you find down there, Rika?
The panel to the engine I mentioned. I'm going to see if it can show off the electricity in order to venture further.
Ivan will chime up at this point. If you need my help, I can come down there. I don't know anything about electrical work, but I can probably pry something open for you.
Please do.
Okay, you guys are gonna see Ivan start to climb down towards Rika. Can I get a physical effect save, Rika?
Oh.
You did.
Oh my god!
Bad idea.
Nice.
I finally succeeded.
Nice. To be fair, it is a save that you're very good at. That's your best save.
Yeah, it's my best save, but there's this bad action.
I'm glad you made it too.
Every other time I fucking failed.
Yeah, Ivan will come down and like see the crowbar in your hand and be like, can I use that?
Yeah, as a sailor.
Okay. Yeah. See. Here we go. Nice. Crowbar, strength, high dice rolls. Ivan manages to pry open this panel for you. And inside you can see a lot of exposed internal parts for some kind of processing unit.
Shouldn't John have gotten his apocalypse point back because he did roll nat ones?
Oh, he did, didn't he? I forgot about that. Yeah, you should have your point back, John.
Yay! It's not in vain.
Yeah, 'cause that was a nat too.
I am not completely suffering now.
I'm
I'm not sure if I remember this correctly, but isn't there like a roll of states, like if someone rolls a nat 2, whatever device they're using gets damaged?
Oh, yeah, it gets broken. So there actually isn't any crowbar. But he didn't use a crowbar for that. That's not... What was the nat 2 for? Sorry. Was that just now? It was. Yeah, so there's no crowbar anymore. You broke your crowbar on the panel.
I can't fucking believe.
He was still able to... No, it's good that we're learning these rules. You broke your crowbar on the panel. You try leveraging some force. You're pushing it down against the metal bulkhead, and it snaps on you. Then Ivan comes down and just manhandles it open.
Bare hands it.
Trying to use the opening that you slightly increased by sacrificing your noble crowbar. Rips it open to expose all these parts, these processing parts on the inside.
What was the original damage of the crowbar, actually? What was the original condition of it? Because there is a full bold list of the full bold damage list.
I have no idea because I don't.
Yeah,
think
there is a damage list, but when you're doing skill checks, it's not degradation. It's sacrificing the items used in the skill check. It's on a separate portion of the book.
Oh, I see it now. There's a difference between attack rolls and skill checks. Okay, I see it.
Yeah. Because skill checks can be repeated when you fail them. You just lose whatever item's involved. So, like, if you used a med kit and you were doing, I don't know, you were doing some kind of check to heal someone and you rolled some natural ones, it would, it says you're supposed to lose the equipment, but in the case of, like, a multi-charge med kit, I would probably just go with you lose that charge of the item. And, you know, potentially something bad could happen with it as well. But the big thing is supposed to be you lose the item. Because losing a crowbar in a game like this is pretty big.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I got it.
First time you used the crowbar and you broke it.
I should not be trusting with physical stuff.
Well, hey, that would have happened to anyone, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I've been playing for multiple times, and I fell out each time. And I'm almost dead because of this.
Oh, you're fine. You are so fine.
I have 2 health.
There's some people that naturally have 2 health.
Okay, now I'm going there. Okay. Okay, going back to the game. I can see all the wire stuff, right?
Yeah, you can see inside this access panel now. It's completely exposed.
Is there any way for me to shut off the electricity?
If you want to make an educated decision, you could give me a tech post-tech. Or a history check.
History check?
It'll be a lot harder with the history, though.
It's my higher one.
Could be good, could be bad.
You know, I'm gonna go with post-tech because it doesn't do right.
Throw it out there.
It hasn't failed me before, it failed me now.
Nice. Yeah, you have, like, really no idea beyond, like, what beyond what you're looking at. You do see a bunch of wires connected to like the unit you're looking at, it's safe to assume that like if you remove all these wires, that it won't be able to do its job anymore. That should, at the very least, cripple the system.
Do I have any? I don't think I have anything rubber on me or non-electric, non-conductive on me. So. Actually, wait. Is there a way for me to like wrap like cloth around the hand?
Yeah, you could take one of your articles off or rip a piece off, whatever you prefer.
Okay, I'll do that and basically make a makeshift non-conductive glove outfit.
Okay.
Ivan.
Yeah, just strip in front of Ivan. That's part of why I said you could rip it off or take a piece off. That's your call.
I hope he likes it. I'm sacrificing so much.
It's like take your sock off or something.
Yeah, I'll just take my sock off.
I don't know what you're wearing, man. You never told me what you're wearing.
I did.
Did you? That's my bad.
I said in the beginning.
That's so long ago.
I was going to say I'm going to take off a sock because I like the idea of her having a sock puppet.
Cool. Yeah, take your sock off, use it as like a glove. And what are you doing with that glove now?
So you said I could possibly cripple the system by pulling out the wires, right?
Yeah, if you pull all the wires off, it's not connected to anything anymore, right?
Well, we're risking it.
Okay. Yeah, you tear all of the wires off connected to this portion of the device, and after you do that, you see this like red light come on, just like this faint one that disappears. It starts to fade after like a few seconds.
Okay. Re-equip sock.
Okay. As you're putting your sock and your shoe back on, can I get another physical effect save?
Oh, come on.
Maybe you should listen when the Lord Keeper of the Book yelled for you guys to come back instead for you guys to come back up.
Made the save at least.
Nice.
Barely.
Yeah, as you're putting your shoe back on, Rika, you start to hear Ivan cough, and as you look back at him, he's kind of bent over, and you see some blood coming out of his mouth that he's like hucking up onto the wires down below you.
I tried to cover his mouth before he starts doing some. Before he starts conducting some stuff. I go and ask him, Ivan, what's wrong?
I have no clue. I started choking a little bit, and then that came up. It might have been from just blacking out earlier, something like that. I don't really know what happened then.
Go back to the keeper. I can possibly handle everything from here.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Kind of in a ashamed, slightly hunched over manner, Ivan start making his way back to Lord Keeper of the Book and Wushen.
Is there anything else up there?
What do you mean?
The Lord Keeper of the Book is. Were there any other ways farther in? Is there anything else up in that room, like that area with where the people were?
There's definitely not any way to get farther back. And you guys came in as far forward as the ship was intact. But you could give me a perception check while you're in there.
Okay.
Good thing you didn't have any binoculars.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But he was just looking. I guess he's distracted by the concern about the people.
You go over and you check the guy closest to you, and the only thing you're really able to come up with is like the clothes on his person. But they're not really of any value to you.
I'm gonna do it.
What is Rika doing in there right now?
Okay. So the wires that are hanging that could possibly fly.
Yeah.
Will they electrocute?
They don't seem to be live. Like, you go over just to test it, you go over and like touch, just very quickly try and touch the one that shocked you earlier, and it doesn't this time.
Okay. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to climb.
Okay. Before we get to that, before we get to you climbing, we're actually going to jump outside and check in on Bress and Ashley. I know Ashley is going to be looking around the ship trying to see if she can scavenge anything from it. What is Bress up to while waiting for everyone else to do what they're doing inside?
Bress is checking with the other survivors and seeing if anybody needs anything, and trying to get people that need something with people that have something, and yeah, just trying to make sure that people are cared for as best they can be, trying to make sure they're comfortable.
Yeah, it does seem like at this point quite a few of these people, like when you go around asking them, it revealed that like most of them are like hungry or very thirsty. It did take some time for you guys to actually get here, and you kind of get the impression, probably even more of the impression that you already had a little bit of before this whole thing fell apart, that everyone here is kind of on the downtrodden, unimportant end of things. Seems like most of them have very little, and even a few of them expressing like signs of dehydration right now, like obvious signs of dehydration, spasming muscles, dried lips, the early signs of this kind of stuff.
And he'll break up the dirty ration that he has as best he can, and sort of try to distribute it so most people get a sip of water or something.
Okay.
And a bite of food at least.
Yeah. It's definitely like appreciated by everyone when you do this. It's one of those things that like probably almost no one in the group would know, but like maybe Bress would, and I can think of one person in this group of NPCs that like it helps for a moment, but it really just helps them realize how hungry / thirsty they are once they get a little bit of it. It's a nice, tender little warm moment with that like little hint of like desperation. And that's the primary needs. Otherwise, like, I mean, we pretty much everyone here is like lightly wounded in some capacity. Nothing that's gonna like evolve any farther than it already has. Just a bunch of beat up, hungry, starving people. They're just trying to find out if there's any more of them before they get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I think there's not any more of them. Rika has decided to go off on her own.
Hey, there was more stuff to discover, and I shall discover. The keeper wants to look for survivors, and she's looking for survivors.
We didn't want to look. The keeper wanted to leave. You guys wanted to look for survivors.
Actually, you're looking for scraps, right? Just going around the ship looking for them?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Perception. Not bad.
Okay. you are able to find some salvageable pieces. Why don't you roll me a D3 minus 1?
I'm trying to remember if I type down the rolls, do I put any spaces?
I don't think so. I think it's just slash. No, slash R space 1D3 plus 1.
Okay.
I believe that's it. It's been a long time though, and I'm not actually typing, so this is just knowledge from a long time ago. I apologize if it's incorrect.
There is a space between the roll and the number.
You said minus 1?
Yeah. Okay. It's probably not what you were hoping to get after the bounty you got at your previously scavenged head of the ship. But you are able to get a few metal plates that you could use, and we'll call these tech level 2 spare parts. You have 1 tech level 2 spare part.
Oh, okay. After I get what I need for the ship, I'm going to head over to. You said there was a pile of bodies off to the side.
There are a handful of bodies that are like strewn out through like the exits towards the portion of the forest that is knocked down, but there's no like straight up pile of them.
Right.
Yeah, we already looted.
Have we already looted the bodies?
Yeah, at the end of last session they were looted.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, yeah, after she savages what she can, she's going to head back to the group with her find. And just kind of wait for the search party to get back.
Okay, that's fair. Is there anything else Bress wanted to do?
No, he's just gonna be looking after the group as best he can while waiting around.
Okay. Yeah, you've done what you can for them as of right now, Bress. We'll jump back over to Rika trying to climb up which end?
Okay, which two ends were they? Like, north and south, right?
Yeah, that's a fine way to put it. That's probably actually what it is. I hadn't thought about it, but it's probably, roughly north, roughly south.
North.
Cool. Give me an athletics check, and if you're going to use the wires, give yourself a +1.
Go right up the wires.
Luck.
It's definitely easier than just going up the basically like metal floor that sticks out slightly above the actual ground that was meant to be walked on. Okay. Yeah, it's a pain because it is a little claustrophobic, especially with all these wires, but you do manage to start making your way up and eventually around this centerpiece, probably like 15 meters wide before you get to the top of this, where at this point you actually need to rest on the bulkhead if you want to stop, as opposed to it being above you. And you see another one of these interfaces. Well, presumably some kind of interface of some type. It has the metal panel there once again. But unlike the previous metal panel, this one doesn't have any exposed pieces. And it's actually made of a different piece of metal. This is not native to the original portion of the ship, unlike the last one you saw.
I'm gonna slide back down the wire and just keep return.
Okay.
I don't keep the keeper waiting longer.
Can I get another physical effect save when you're like looking down at this panel?
I think there might be something toxic in the air that you're being exposed to the longer you're in there.
That makes more sense. I mean, you're running out of light.
Yeah. I even failed this first one, and then that's why he started showing symptoms, but you haven't shown
I mean,
any
true. Like,
every time.
I literally ripped out wires, so anything could have happened.
Okay. You want to give me another athletics check on your way down? You still get your +1 if you want to use the wires.
Yeah, +1.
Okay. Okay. You take your time making your way down, go down the same path, make sure you rely on the wires as much as you can. I'm going to ask for another physical effect save as you're making your way down.
Oh.
Yeah. Failing climb checks isn't always going to be you fall to your death. Okay. You make your way down, and you're a little, you're a little tired just from this cramped, tight space you've been in, having to climb up and down it, in like a very specific way that from my understanding, I don't think Rika is accustomed to this kind of work. Is that true? Like, there are people that work in spaces like this on Luna, but normally it's like the lowest of the low that are still members of the proper society.
Like, I mean, I would say she's used to like a claustrophobic space. She's just not used to working.
That's fair.
Yeah, just not used to it. So,
and you guys can you can see Rika start climbing towards you guys. It's actually a little bit easier to climb out of this than it was to climb down, because I mean the bars are still in the way, but it's a lot less awkward than climbing down on top of the bars. I mean, she looks a little tired, but otherwise she seems fine.
yeah, I'm just gonna go back.
Right. Didn't find any survivors.
I don't know.
Ed, get out of here. Guess it. Jealous and worse than might be coming.
Can I get physical effect saves from Lord Keeper of the Book? I'm gonna roll some for I'm gonna roll one for Ivan real quick, and I'm gonna roll one for Wishen.
I believe I can give myself
wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Consistency.
Didn't I roll 5 for Ivan earlier too?
Yes, I think so.
Nice. Good job there, Steven. Couple of survivors flexing their survivor saves.
I might as well be inhuman now because I'm basically breathing in like glass shards.
I will give I'll let you guys give me perception checks with a -1. You might be able to recognize what this is. I'm definitely going to make it harder for Lord Keeper of the Book, though, because this is way less common on the ground than it is in on Luna. Yeah, no, neither of you guys know what this is. We'll see. Maybe maybe one of your associates will know. We'll get Ivan going. Nice. And we'll see if the shed knows. Cool. Yeah. Which Shen will pop up. Let's see. You smell that? I think it's a gas leak. Did you smell anything down there, Rika?
Nothing of note.
We might want to get out of here. It could be volatile.
To leave.
I got like a gas leak.
Lord Keeper is going to make his way back out, following the path that he did before. Others can then follow his path.
Yeah. You squeeze your way past Wushen, and you start walking down. Wushen will follow you. And Ivan will follow behind him. Presumably, Rika is following. John? Okay. Okay. Yeah, and you make your ways back down the path, and you get back to the debris. You guys want to give me athletics checks to get down? They're going to be easier than last time. But you're still going to have to make them. Unless you just want to fly off, Steven, you could do that.
Because I always have that option. I fly.
Oh my god, finally made show off.
I'm actually thinking, because the Keeper is actually thinking something right now. As a question, Jacob, in relation to the way down off of the plateau, are we near the way off the plateau as well?
You could get off the plateau here. There isn't, not the same place you got off, not the natural, like easier to climb up and down path. But you could get up and down here. It would just be harder, because you're basically on the opposite end of where you came up originally. I'm going to get some rolls going. John, that is definitely not enough for you to get down safely. Yeah.
Well, you said it was easier. I thought it was like a DC 8 or something. Or it's...
No, it was abnormally difficult. You guys were looking for a DC 8 now.
How am I supposed to save you?
You have wings!
I mean, I will, you do have an opportunity to, help Rika out as she is, basically falling down on top of you. Lord Keeper of the Book. So you could try, it's gonna be harder than last time, but you could try getting her, on her way down towards you. But if you have any other ideas, I'm willing to listen. Maybe you just want to get out of the way.
Sorry, but you're on your own.
You took too long.
Took too long.
I won't blame him. I keep on falling on people.
Yeah, honestly, Rika, please stop climbing.
I want to stop climbing, but it keeps happening.
Sounds like we know a skill that everybody needs to invest in the next level up.
Yes, okay, so Lord Keeper is going to try to catch her again.
Okay. Yeah. Give me an athletics. I could see strength being an option this time as well, so you can do strength or dexterity. You could just like try and keep her from falling on you.
I mean, the problem is it doesn't matter because the Lord Keeper's strength and dex are both pros.
You say it doesn't matter, and it might not, when it comes to your stats, but it could when it comes to the outcome.
That's what I was referring referring to was the modifier was not going to be impact. I guess we'll try to get her. We'll try to get her with ready roll. Or dexterous.
Okay. Yeah. Oof. Okay. You try and reach out to grab her as she's falling down, kind of off to the side of you, and you grab onto her hand, but you can't hold onto her without sacrificing your position and potentially falling down yourself. I'll let you re-roll, but it's gonna be hard, and if you fail, you're gonna fall down with her.
Don't think he's tried. I don't think he's going to sacrifice his own to the fall as well.
Okay. Then I'm gonna get a save from Rika. I think evasion makes the most sense with this one. Yeah, we'll do evasion. I think
That's one of the highest ones. Fuck.
Yeah, we'll do evasion. You're basically trying to avoid as much debris as you can on your way down.
Hey!
Nice. Okay. You avoid all the spiky bits, the blobs that are sticking out, and you try and brace yourself as best you can, and you make it down faster than everyone else. With a few more bumps and bruises, I will have you take just 1 point of damage.
I am at 1 health.
I have 1 health.
Finally, someone has less health than I do.
I'll just
The Lord Keeper has a lot of health. That is one of his perks. It's 8.
Rika is going to do a thumbs up and say, I should stop climbing.
And
Fallen.
Washen is gonna fall down as well, which is why I didn't have him roll to try and help you out, Rika.
Please don't fall on me.
So this could be bad. First, I'm gonna see if Ivan can help him. And he'll do a Dex Athletics because he's better at that. But he's not going to be able to catch Washen as he falls down below him. Do you want to try and help him out, Lord Keeper?
Lord Keeper can try.
Okay.
Very good at this.
Falling down from a few meters higher, you might be able to catch Washen as he falls down next to you.
I'm just saying, the Lord Keeper, unfortunately, is not as good at this as would have like. It's not his skill. Alright. Oh.
Nice. Okay. You manage to catch Washen as he's sliding down. There's a few pieces of debris that fall down on both of you as you catch him. But he's able to cling on to some of the debris with your help. And the three of you are able to make it the rest of the way down safely.
Knights have one skill and it's falling down from the sky.
Okay, so the Lord Keeper looks at the group. Alright. 2 options. First, you're gonna make your way down here. I am willing to get you all down here, so you don't have to risk back to the other way up, potentially running into Lockjaw Pack. Didn't see all Lockjaw corpses. No, some of them are dead. I didn't see the big one. And there's definitely a big one. It's not what I saw in there. I want to fight the big ones, or forgetfully more deadly. And get you all down here. Then I can start to lead you in the direction of the nearest enclave. Town. Where safer. Figure out what to do next. Or back around. Just running into the lockjaws. Down the other way. Understand some of you still might not want me to carry you. Ace. That way. A willing to fall down here. Fun. The way works to help you either way. Because it's less risky to get ourselves down here. To run into the lockjaw pack. Finish with some of them dead.
I agree. It's a good idea that we avoid both a fight and the climb if we can. We have a lot of wounded people and a lot of people already exhausted from what's gone on. So if you can carry us down, we'd be grateful.
Wait. Just of you. And he looks at the, everyone else. You alright with me taking you down again?
I suppose.
And as with last time, Russ will kind of volunteer to go first to indicate to the group that it's okay.
Yeah, I was leaving the floor open once again for all the party members. They have a response, I know what it is, but I wanted to hear what John had to say before I said anything. Like, you guys always take priority over NPCs unless I jump in.
Part of the reason Lord Keeper was asking was because he was asking me if some of them weren't comfortable.
That's fair. What's Rika's take on this, John?
I believe it's best if I do not handle any cliffs again.
I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, I think there are degrees of willingness that we've already expressed when it comes to getting your help, Lord Keeper, but everyone at this point is willing to accept your help, even Ivan, although it's clearly begrudgingly. He's not happy about it.
Yeah, well, the Lord Keeper has so far demonstrated a great willingness to help you guys.
And Ivan's had a really long, last 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's probably doesn't want to go far.
Right, so the Lord Keeper is going to take everybody down one at a time. He'll start with Bress again. It's volunteer.
Okay. 16. 32. It'll take you a little over 3 minutes to get everyone up and down, so you'll still have a little bit of your wings left.
So then, after he gets everybody down, he's gonna go up, high,
Okay.
and look around. He's looking for either somewhere that they could potentially camp, like a potential safe place for camping.
Okay.
Also looking for any signs. Well, okay. I guess there's just two different checks. He's looking for somewhere that they could camp, and he's also looking for any signs of a particular creature. Of a particular creature, notably, he's looking for any signs there might be would indicate the presence of a horse.
Okay. Give me a perception check. I have information I can provide you. The information you're looking for is difficult, though. We'll see how successful you are. Give yourself a -1 from the smoke.
Oh, okay. I'm still making a bonus from being looking down from on high, but I guess. Okay.
Well, it's very situational whether or not that gives you a bonus. Like in this case, a huge chunk of the ground below you is covered in smoke.
Okay.
I think I made a post that is like a very tame version of what I was trying to express like yesterday. Was it with you guys I shared that?
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna give the I will use it to give an additional. I'm going to use my pocket point.
Okay, sounds good to me. So you will get the better of the 2 rolls you make.
Was number 1.
Consistency.
Then
Uno mas.
either of them was great.
Okay. I will give you some information. I'm not going to be able to provide you with the location or any indications of horses, unfortunately.
Okay. Unfortunately.
But what you will be able to see is in like 4 different directions, various light sources off in the distance that seem to be making their way towards you right now.
Okay.
And they're all coming. You can see a few of them coming from northeast, and then a few coming from southeast.
Okay. Can you switch back to the map?
Yeah. Why do you want the map?
I have a general idea of where the because he knows he has a general idea of where things are in the world-ish.
I mean, yeah. What are you trying to look for? Like, I don't need to switch to the map if I have an idea of what you're. They're coming from like the plains and forest around you, right? There isn't really anything. I mean, the closest settlement nearby, and you've never been there, is it's called Renaissance. That's one of the names it has.
Okay.
And that's to the northeast. So they could be coming from that, but realistically, it wouldn't make sense if people were like in Renaissance and then came here. At least not in this time.
Not enough time. Yeah.
No. Yeah,
That's
nobody's
fair.
coming from any settlements, and to your south and to your southeast are all necropolis. Like there aren't enclaves down there.
Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah. The closest enclave is like a few days travel to your northwest. So towards the direction that like kind of towards the direction that the smoke's going in, where you haven't seen any lights.
Alright, the Lord Keeper's gonna go back down now.
Okay.
After having gotten his sort of bird's eye view. Yeah, it's also nighttime. I can definitely see why he did not see any signs of horde. This is something he's going to be looking for.
Yeah, I would have given you you had a -2 penalty, and you had a +1, so it all panned out to a -1.
Oh, he is going down.
Okay.
And alright, so he goes down and he's like, right. Fast. No, you don't want to move fast now, but we have to. Oh, the people. Really? Not pleasant up there. The light I talked about. The time when these sort of calamities happen. On their way. Other lights. North. The southeast. First enclave that I know. Please, hospitable. The northwest. Case, you get out of here quickly. Because you don't want to be here when they get here.
Okay. I agree that we don't want to. I agree that we don't want to meet these people. I would suggest we cut west for now to get as far away from these other people as far, and then cut north to head to the enclave. You know this territory better. Would that be effective?
It could work. like gets us the greatest distance. I'm pretty good at finding my way. Sort of very pretty good at finding my way. I think here, so I can lead you.
Okay, then let's do that.
Nice. Now we get to mess around with overland travel. So we talked about this in our one shot the other day. Overland travel is a little weird in the way that these increments work. And that's because the hexes each represent, I believe it was 6 kilometers a piece, but each one of these, that's not like they don't quantify movement in hexes. Or no, it wasn't 6, it was 12, wasn't it? Oh god. Does it say on the hex? It might just be in the back where it says that. Let me find one of the maps. In its awkward place in the back somewhere. Aha. Oh no. Under GM stuff. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hex is 20 kilometers. And you can move 6 kilometers an hour unencumbered. As long as the terrain isn't weird. You guys are currently in planes, which is one of the defaults. So there's no modifier. So you will be moving at the 6 kilometers per hour. But if we are moving quickly, we're going to be using a forced march. That's the actual mechanical way that you can move quicker than just regular walking along. And you can do that for up to 10 hours. And you move double your speed. Couple things to keep in mind. We have a bunch of very hungry, dehydrated people. Most of which are also sleep deprived. So going 10 hours is definitely something they can do, but it's going to put a lot of wear and tear on their body.
Don't necessarily need to actually go for 10 hours. Just trying to get a decent distance away quickly. And then we can camp and scavenge and rest.
Okay.
That's the Lord Keeper's plan. He's trying to get some distance from us on the crash site.
Yeah.
So maybe a 5-hour forced march, and then we stop for a while.
That'll get you pretty far. That'll get you like basically a square and some square and a half away, basically.
That seems good.
Yeah, and you would actually be the settlement you'd be heading to. Well, here's a good question. I know you guys didn't operate in this area, so would you know about the names of settlements this far away of where you would operate from?
Maybe? I mean, I know we traded occasionally, we traded with people. I'm not sure. I think we might know the names of the settlement, like the names. I don't think we know much about them.
Okay.
People are like, we come from blankety blank,
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, so this place is called Evermore. That's where you guys would be heading right now.
Okay.
It's not very big, and to be honest, of all the places you might know about, this is
Just know the name.
probably the least likely for you to know anything about. Looking at, I guess you, I can't remember. Did we talk about we talked about Salt Bay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Salt Bay is with you being so close to Salt Bay, at least where like your territory was, yeah, I think Evermore is probably the place you know the least about.
Okay. He knows the name. He knows we're heading to the name and not much else. He knows that a couple. I think he's probably met a couple people who came from there at the traders.
Yeah, a couple people have been to Evermore.
Who's to find Olympic Taylor Swift fans?
Yeah. Yes. It could be a band name. Oh God. There are no bands in Evermore.
Yeah, it's a Taylor Swift album. That's one of the reasons.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's great.
We travel and
yeah.
about a hex and a half.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be remaining in the plains. Like, as long as you're making progress there, it doesn't really matter where you're going. And until you guys have a map, I'm just gonna make you make decisions basically based on what you can see immediately in front of you, as opposed to the proper map itself. So you guys are just moving through the plains, getting away from the. You'd actually be. You could either move through the plains or you can move through the forest with where you first started, and each would be in the direction of Evermore, just because of the nature of a hex map. So I'll leave that up to you guys. The plains, or the forest is going to be slower to walk through, but there is, more cover, more places to hide. It is faster to move through plains, though.
I think his recommendation would be to go through the plains and then go into the forest after you get some distance.
Bruce would agree with that.
Okay. That's fair. That's a fair path. Though with this being our first time doing overland travel, it might feel like a smack in the face what I'm gonna say. But trust me, that's not the intent. Just because of the large swath of land that each one of these tiles is supposed to represent, as you guys start making your way through the plains, your first full tile of movement, by the time you get to the next set of tiles that would be available to you, you could technically go back into the forest, but if you were actually trying to make your way towards Evermore, you just have to go through more plains.
Hey, I have to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I'm sorry, but you have to go.
John, is this going to be a regular thing?
No, I should be leaving for this time because this is just because I was just in a very awkward situation.
Okay. Well, I hope things get better, man.
Yeah, it's just a very awkward situation, but it should be solved once my break is over. So, see you.
Later. Yeah, not sold on that one. Okay. I'll throw you guys on the map right now so you can look at it.
Okay.
So technically you guys were right here in the dead center. I know it's not the best image, but it's an image.
Okay.
And then you guys would have moved here, and then you'd be halfway through moving to this tile, so you'd be in this tile.
Okay.
Need to get that's why you're able to do 30 with that force march right there. And so yeah, you'd be partway. You need to do 10 more meters to finish the movement through this tile, so you're in the plains right now. Transitioning from plains to plains is the way it would be.
Okay. Yeah, the goal is to get us around. Okay.
And can I get perception checks from you guys? At this point, you guys, you actually, before we do that, at this point, as you guys have been like booking it, like running for hours at this point to get away from this wreckage. I imagine it's actually really weird for all the Loonites here because they've never been in this much space before, and now they're spending hours running through it. Something, I mean, just hard for regular people in condition, but probably even harder for people that haven't had to exercise these muscles to this degree before. It wouldn't take you hours to run from one end of your home to the other. It could take you hours to get through it. You just wouldn't have the ability to run that much.
I don't know if we have artificial gravity too, or if we're dealing with like higher gravity now. But...
You're definitely dealing. It's not a big enough difference that like your bones are gonna get crushed or anything. But the gravity on Luna is a little bit lower. Yes, so it is different. You have to get used to it. It's something you guys are having to acclimate to.
You're gonna be very uncomfortable for the first little while.
Yeah. And I'm gonna actually ask for physical effect saves from all of you after this forced march.
Fine.
Okay, and I will roll. I'll roll Rika's real quick.
I just barely failed. Sideways.
Of course, as soon as he leaves, Rika fails a save.
She also has a history of failing physical effect saves fairly often too, like against the smoke multiple times.
Okay, and it's a pretty mixed bag. Most of the people that you guys are traveling with are being affected by this fairly heavily, are failing. There's a few people that haven't, but there are a lot of people that have. And I don't actually know where the actual description of this is, but you guys are going to be fatigued. I don't know where they actually bring this up. Yeah, this is weird. I don't know where they bring fatigued up, and I tried looking in...
Fatigue characters cannot force march.
Where are you finding this?
Where is that?
Is it still...
Page 33.
Okay.
They must start in the case, be carried, or be left behind.
Oh yeah, those who fail, I think, with the fatigue condition, then can lose it only after a full day of rest. That's what fatigue does. It's just
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think I misheard you. What page was it, Skylar?
33.
43. I thought you said 33. That's my bad.
Particle overland movement.
Yeah.
Okay, it was literally on the page I was looking at.
That
But
appears to
appears
be
all it does, though, is that it makes you force a march. You must slacken the pace, be carried, or be left behind, and only lose it after you rest a full day.
Makes sense.
Lord Keeper, okay. The rest of you guys, dead.
And
You're pooped.
at this point, I think it would be a good idea for you guys to try and find some place to rest.
Lord Keeper survival for that.
I think I feel like survival could work, but honestly, I think navigation or perception or even history could make more sense, depending on how you want to look at it. Might know of a historical place in the area.
I could
Yeah.
probably try that.
Survival could work though. I think they all could work in different ways.
Okay,
I'll roll this survival.
Okay. If the rest of you want to throw something out there too, you can.
Could I try to do a history check, see if I could think of a ancient shelter or something?
Yeah.
Might lie nearby.
It's
It's an 8.
Nice.
I
You
like
got
that
you got any ideas, Skylar? You got anything you want to roll?
Yeah, I did a perception.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So for Steven, I'll say that there are some indicators based on some foot travel that you've been paying attention to for the last few hours that point you even farther westward in the direction of Evermore. So it's along the same direction that you're already going. And Skylar, that's the same with your perception check. In the very, very far off distance, you can see some something that's breaching the horizon. Some bits that are sticking up that are definitely not trees or anything natural like that. Maybe some crumbling ruins. And actually, you can actually recall that at least 200 years ago, there used to be a very nice drone racing arena in this area. If it's still standing, it shouldn't be that far to the west from here. Maybe about as long as it took you to, like, as long as you've been traveling. So it's going to be hard, but you won't have to force march this time. You're definitely going to have to convince these people around you to keep going, though, because everyone here is pushing themselves to their limits. With maybe the exception of the Lord Keeper. I don't know how long he's been up today, but I think if he's been following the people we discussed that he's been following, he's been traveling for a long time.
The Lord Keeper, he's tired.
Yeah, at this point it's like it's probably like 3 in the morning. You guys are traveling. But based on the terrain, it'll probably take you about another 5 hours of travel. No forced
I
march.
thought you were saying
We were looking for somewhere right by here to shelter. Somewhere we could shelter here. Without having to move without having to move multiple hexes and stuff.
You're not going to have to move multiple hexes.
No, Hex is 20 kilometers, so...
Okay.
Yeah, hex is 20 kilometers. You're part way through this hex. You're basically going to complete your movement with this hex.
Okay. Got it.
So you'll
yeah.
properly be in the hex that you're in right now by the time you get there.
Okay.
I get it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're not moving multiple hexes. You're you're only a few hexes away from Evermore. So if I did that, you would basically be in Evermore.
Yeah.
So, the Lord Keeper is... Right. Oh, everybody's tired. Not a bit farther. Could be a place we can take shelter. Rest for a while. Strength. No. For a lot. It's not safe. It's out in the open. That kind of place.
Actually, we'll look over to Breast and be like, if I recall correctly, there's an old structure, a ruin of some kind that's just about 5 miles over that way. It's big enough that we could provide suitable shelter for all of us if we could make the trek.
Okay. Chris is going to nod and sort of look around, to the larger group and be, I know we've already had a long night, but we'd like a roof over our head and walls around us, so we can get a good rest. We're taking slower than we have been, but we need to get there.
Like leadership from both of us or something.
Yeah. I could see the argument that either of you were leading, so one of you can assist the other one. One of you can roll to see if you can provide a bonus, and the other one can lead the check.
I'll try to provide a bonus.
Okay.
Leadership's not good.
I think it was the two of us were trying to press and
That's right, yeah. I was going to see maybe I could try to provide a bonus too, but...
Okay, so that gives me a +1.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have a +1 on your leadership check.
Hey, I think we did okay.
Nice. Yeah, it's hard to motivate the crowd around you, Bress, but the faith that you've been able to install in them up to this point is still being held on to. So they're gonna follow you to this next landmark on your way to Evermore.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think it's actually I don't think it's 5 hours. I think it's more like 2, to be honest. So it's only a few hours journey.
Actually, he's going to break out some of her water rations to try to help keep everybody going. Give them some form of energy.
I mean, I think
With water and...
We'd be doing that when we crash, like, right? Give out the stuff then.
we get
There.
I mean, you can hand out stuff right now if you want, but like, keep in mind that unless you're handing out full rations of food and water to people, it's not like...
That's fair.
It's not really it's gonna help them, but not not in the long term. They're still gonna be starving and dehydrated.
That's fair. Forget I said anything then.
It's really just a morale booster is what I would look at it as.
Right.
So I guess we are on our way.
Yeah. It takes you guys a few hours, but eventually you do spot a very pretty small looking stadium. Probably fits no more than a few thousand people in it. And it's not that it's more wide than it is tall. This isn't like you guys have probably all seen like a stadium for like football or soccer or something like that. It's not as big as that. This ain't no NASCAR stadium or anything like that. But like I said, I can probably fit a few thousand people in it, and it's actually pretty tall, not domed off, open air, and there are some fairly obvious signs of like a lack of wildlife here, and plant life. Not that you guys were seeing many animals when you were out there. We're still seeing some though, up to the point that you guys have traveled. And there is the regular life that you would see in the plains in this locale. Not that there's much variety in that, but there is a distinct lack of it in this area. If you guys want some information on that, I really probably shouldn't be doing things this way. I feel like I should just leave it up to you guys after I say that. Like whether or not you're gonna get information. So I'll do that. If you guys want stuff, throw it out there. If not, from here on out, I'm just gonna give you set dressing. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
As we're traveling towards, the Lord Keeper's going to be keeping an eye out on this wildlife thing. Like, can you make survival see out like what's going on with the lack of wildlife?
Okay. can make a survival check, but I don't want you to ask me if you could make checks in the future. I want you guys to avoid that in all of my games. Don't ask to make checks. What is confusing you right now, Steven?
That's how it works. You ask if you can do something.
Yeah, ask me like, hey, is there something I can do to determine, like, what's up with all the lack of wildlife? And then I'll be like, I don't know, give me this check. As opposed to preloading it, you know? That's what I've literally always done. Hey, that's pretty good. Was that natural?
No.
It was close.
11 plus 2 because he's plus 1 added. One application.
Yeah.
Good at survival.
There's a few different things that this could be. It could represent something toxic in the ground, but it's also kind of hard to tell because there are signs of like herbivores actually in the same places that you're seeing signs of just like proper decay and like saturation of the ground. So it's a combination of the two. Looks like a lot of things have eaten here, and there's something wrong with the ground itself.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to say anything about this specifically. The group needs to take shelter. This is the place we can take shelter. Going to keep this in his... He does not want to say this because he does not want to demoralize the people who've been following the shelter. So, I'm going to try to keep leading people on.
Okay.
The thing.
Yeah. You make your way up to what looks like the main entrance of this racetrack. And when you get like about 100 feet away, you notice this very large looking snake that is curled up on top of itself next to the main entrance, and it looks maybe it's dozed off, but you've seen snakes before. It might just be waiting for you to get closer.
Point out the snake. Right. Snake. We need to get past it. So...
It's like curled up, stacked on top of itself. It's probably sitting about 4 feet tall.
Snake. To be food. If we take care of that, we get you guys some energy back. Really want that sort of thing roaming around, so we're going to be having to hole up for at least a day to recover. Swap weapons. So do
you want to give me a culture traveler check, Lord Keeper? You might actually know what these are.
I don't have that one. I will give
it a check. I will roll it. I don't have culture traveler. I rolled really, really well.
Nice. Yeah. These are called camelbacks. And it's not because they have a weird hump. It's because they could literally swallow a camel.
Okay. So they can
They're big.
How many are there in northeastern America?
And it's weird that they're here. There is a desert farther to the south, but it's pretty far to the south. So the fact that there's a camelback here, it's definitely very weird.
It's a camelback. Stakes. Really want them to get close to you. Can you eat people? Things bigger than people. What? Each of us have brains, have the ability to shoot it. What I would say is, I'll stand before you. Ooh. He points at actually as Ivan. They all have ranged weapons. Right. Prepare. Shoot at it. Or else stab at it. Hopefully we can kill it before it has to do anything. And food, shelter, we're down. Everyone recover.
I don't see where we have a choice. We need to camp for the night, and we need food. Let's get this done, people.
Let's do it.
I believe Rika has the longest range weapon.
You got the breach loader. I thought the laser was longer range, though.
It might be.
The laser pistol has a range of 100 to 300 meters.
It's not. Yeah. The breech loader's 200 to 400.
It's just... Yeah.
And the fact that it's in meters, I don't know, is kind of weird. Shooting someone with the naked eye at 100 meters is a stretch. Shooting someone with a naked eye with a breech loader at 200 meters is not going to happen.
Oh, if you think of it, I mean, meters are a little bit more than a yard.
Yeah.
So
Shooting someone at over 900 feet away with your naked eye? No.
I mean, you can there are people who can hit someone football away with their name.
I can't
I
help but
feel like these people meant to use feet, but ended up translating in meters for some reason.
It's definitely meant to use meters. They use meters literally everywhere. Meters and kilometers, so yeah.
I guess somebody needs to learn don't know proper measurements.
I mean, it's doable. It's not possible. It's just most people, like, that's a stretch. And then the max range, 400 meters, without a scope. That's not actually feasible for you to be able to target someone at that distance. I don't know. Maybe they're assuming there's scopes on all these weapons, though. Maybe that's what it is.
The Lord Keeper's gonna position himself in front. So that the snake comes at us, attack it.
Okay. I mean, that's doable, but keep in mind, this is like a predator. They're not fucking stupid. If they if they have some reason not to go directly at you, and they have the opportunity to do that, then they will. But yeah, I guess,
Is there any cover or anything nearby we can set our ranged up behind?
yeah, like you guys, have like spotted them as you've started moving through some of the debris of like the surroundings of the stadium. It's not just like planes, sudden building. So you can like, part of the question I have is, what do you want to do with the people who don't have weapons? Because you're basically going through like a big ass parking lot full of old cars that leads up to this entrance. As a note, there are Rika, if memory serves you right, there are multiple entrances to the stadium. It might still be a good idea. You guys might still want to kill the giant snake, just because it would still be there. But that's another option to throw out there. But like, realistically, once you guys approach, you're within like 30 meters of this creature. That's when you would actually see it. And you have like a few hundred meters that you could just like somewhere in there send back the people without weapons if you want.
Yeah, he's gonna suggest for them to get back.
And once they get like 5 or 6 rows of vehicles back, basically out of view, and last session you handed off a couple different weapons, and the man whose name I don't think you guys have gotten yet, that came up with Mahim, I don't think you guys got his name, right?
Mahim.
I said Mahim again.
Came up with Wushen. We didn't get his name.
Wushen. Okay.
He had the axe and
Yeah.
the crowbar.
I didn't think you got his name, but I wanted to confirm. He's going to stay with the group, and I think Wushen is as well.
And the guy named Pete also got a revolver and a hide armor.
Yes, Pete got hooked up. I don't think he's going to help you guys either. I think the only one who's...
He had 3 shots, I think.
I think he had 1 shot, actually. I think he had 1 bullet.
Well, he had more than one.
I think it was 3. I think he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a revolver with 3 shots. That was it.
Well, the Lord Keeper gestured to the people who he knows they rise to task, including Ivan, because Ivan, despite being suspicious, has shown a great deal of willingness to put himself at risk for his fellow members of the group.
Yeah, Ivan's willing to help. Yeah, so let's do that. We'll have you guys set up around this, basically a few cars that you guys are hiding behind. I mean, there's a bunch more in between you, but like I said, probably about 30 meters away from the main entrance is like the closest set of cars that you can all hide behind. So at this point there'd be 5 of you, including Ivan. And I guess at this point I'll have you guys roll initiative.
Roll initiative. Roll 8.
Well, Rika did terrible. And then I'll do Ivan's. I think it's interesting they use a D8. I've never seen that before for initiative. Hey, 7. Okay.
Well,
Ashley, you got the first shot.
All right. She's
Going to hold up her weapon. She's going to press the quick button to charge it up, and you hear a slight whirring sound come from the pistol. As she aims for it, police officer style, just goes to fire. You don't really hear any sounds come out of the pistol. You just hear a slight buzzing, like electricity running through a wire. Just kind of flows through the air as an invisible beam of energy just slaps the creature with like energetic heat. Let's see what damage we can do. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
I don't think the laser weapons are actually invisible in this game. I think they are visible.
I think they're like blasters.
Yeah, like Star Wars.
I was looking up how laser pistol sounds firing, and it's supposed to be the kind of weapon you can fire stealth without really giving yourself away.
But this is fantasy though. I thought this could be, I thought these were like, Star Wars.
I was going based on what I read. That's all.
Pew laser pistols.
Whatever, you see the blue burst of energy fire from a pistol close to the creature. See if I can. What's his AC?
3.
3.
All right.
Well, this thing is hard to hit. Bugger.
And
I have a +1.
Okay, I got a
+1
+1
dex.
Remember, you get a +1 from it being an energy weapon as well.
Yeah, I already put that in.
Okay.
And I missed. So yeah, I fire my weapon and it just barely misses the snake and kind of just dissipates harmlessly into the building next to it.
Yeah, I don't see anything under the energy weapons that suggests that it's invisible, so I'm going to say it's visible. I'm going to say you can see the beam hit people. The only time it brings up anything specific like that is when it's talking about bonuses.
It must look like a specific section where it mentions something about stealth. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it does say that it doesn't have recoil or disorienting noise. That's where it gets its bonus from. And
that's probably where I got the idea of it being silent. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, it's not like a pistol going off in your hand, but like still noise, still visible.
Yeah. Okay.
Pew!
Yeah, just a quick bolt of light.
Hey, I think Ivan's next?
Yeah, Ivan is next. Ivan doesn't have anything fancy though, which might be a little disappointing. He just has a good old-fashioned pistol.
Pew.
Exactly.
Boom, I guess. The laser more pew.
Advanced die roller. D20. And it's just his stats carrying him right now. This isn't great for him. Yeah, +1 dex. 0. Okay, so 4. Yeah. He takes a shot. This semi-auto pistol, and it goes wide. It just hits the like stadium behind the snake. At this point, after those 2 shots, I will roll initiative for the snack. And if he ends up being higher than you guys, then we'll just have him act lower this one round.
Okay. Nick.
Watch out for the danger noodle.
Yeah, this is definitely a danger noodle.
Okay, cool. A 5. So next up would be Bress. Because players always take precedence over NPCs.
Bress will take a shot with his bow. Weapons are getting more primitive by the moment.
Hey, we'll soon get to the sword, man.
That's as primitive as it gets.
Sci-fi.
Too bad no one has just a stick with a sharp rock on the end.
Yeah, all we're missing is the wooden spear. And then we have Prudent and the Oligarch.
What was the snake's AC again?
3.
3. Sucker's hard to hit.
Yeah.
Definitely is a hard hit boy.
Damn.
Rough. Okay, well, feel free to give me the description of your shot, Skylar.
Russ just draws back his bow and you know, doesn't go all that well. You know, the arrow goes completely wide. Complete miss. It bounces off a car. Snake's not bothered in the slightest.
Nice. Can respect that one. Okay, now the snake is gonna go after you guys. I'm gonna roll a die real quick. Okay. Snake is going to go after Lord Keeper. What's your AC?
4.
4?
It's almost as good as snake.
Oh.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah. A lot.
Oh, hold on. I screwed you guys over. I said 3. AC is actually 6, so if Ashley wants to roll damage, you can give me damage. That's my bad.
Yeah.
I read the column next to AC.
I was like, that snake is that snake has like heavy armor, man.
No, you should have got damage for that. Can you roll the damage without getting a 2-hit? Is that possible?
No.
That's a D6.
Yeah, just roll a d6.
I already did. I rolled 5.
Okay. 5 damage is nice.
Okay, so read description. She fires and you see this red bolt of energy just shoot towards it, hits it right in the side, right in its long, slithery body, and just where it impacted, instead of a hole, you see a massive scorch mark. Some of the skin just blow away.
That's like a burn. I love it.
A snake is a lot better at attacking than me.
Yes it is. The damage isn't that bad though. Just a D10.
Not that bad, a D10. Yay.
Snake hurts.
Yeah, so it
Game are very, very deadly.
yeah. I mean, I put a big ass snake in front of you guys that was asleep and you decided to fight it, so game is deadly. Fortunately, it only rolled a 2. You had
At 8.
yeah, you're the one with 8. Nice. Okay. After that, we go down to well, I'll give you a little bit of description. Sorry about that. I got caught up in stats. The snake will slither forward, almost as far as it can actually go, towards the Lord Keeper, coming over the, coming in between the vehicles and lunging at him, and gripping onto, the front of your leg, piercing some of your armor with its long fangs. And then it would be your turn. So if you want to, try and cut its head off, this would be a good time.
He's gonna system shrink. He's gonna right himself.
Okay. And I know I messed it up, but 6 for the AC of this creature. Much more doable than I read.
Yeah.
Did you just do a equivalent of a rage?
Sort of.
Sort of. I don't think that's the actual flavor of it. I don't think there was flavor for it.
Your powerful form can be pushed to feats of mighty prowess. Doesn't give us more detail.
Sounds like a rage.
No, rage is literally getting angry that magically affects you. That's what rage is in Pathfinder and D&D. This is just him pushing himself.
He is angry. He is pushing himself, but it's not actually a rage. So he gets a bonus to his dex modifier. Okay, so I guess what I do...
Just give yourself a +1.
It's a +2 bonus.
Yeah, just increase your bonus by 1.
It's 0 right now. Gives you a +2 modifier bonus. So he hits as if he's got a 18 dex.
Oh yeah, give yourself +2. Sorry.
Okay. So he's gonna...
No, it's to your dex mod, not to your dex itself. So you should have a +2 on your 2 hit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. D value is 6. Other modifier. There we go. Ooh.
Hey, David's actually online.
Oh!
Nice. That's enough to kill it.
Okay,
Nice.
Snake goes over, bites the Lord Keeper in the leg. Lord Keeper looks at this snake. It's his sword. Pulls out a battle cry. He slashes its head off.
I got terribly low HP when I rolled for this creature.
He gets bit, raises his sword with a battle cry, slices down, head, falls next to snake body.
You feel the fangs pierced into your skin loosen up. They violently tear out partially as you sever the head off, and there is now just a bunch of blood pouring down at your feet. Nice.
Alright. Take his head. Everyone back up.
Yeah, that thing had 3 hit die, and it rolled so fucking low. It barely survived that first shot.
Oh, okay. So he really, so it was some overkill for the Lord Keeper with his almost back damage.
Yeah. But at the same time with this game, especially, I really like just if you guys get the kill, make it however the fuck you want. Keep in mind though, if you're I blow a fucking hole in the chest of the guy with power armor, that could affect the power armor if you try and scavenge it.
The Keeper did not know that the snake was nearly dead. The snake had also just taken a big bite out of him, so he pushed himself to... Incidentally, this does last for the next 5 minutes worth of time, so any dexterity things he makes during that next 5 minutes, he has a +2.
Yeah.
Time to do some acrobatics.
Yeah.
But he is going to he's going to call him forward and out his meta tool. His knife. said about trying to butcher this snake.
Okay.
Is that in survival check?
Yes.
Specific rules for butchering things.
Yeah.
Don't think he's actually going to have any time to use his dexterity for anything else, because it's going to take him some time to butcher the giant snake. But
Yeah. It's a big snake.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Throw it out there.
Okay.
I'm actually going to say that this one is a little bit easier than normal. Because I've flayed snakes, and they are definitely easier to flay than most creatures.
Alrighty.
Snake doesn't taste good, by the way. It's like greasy, rubbery chicken. At least what I've had.
Oh, the Lord Keeper has eaten snake before.
Yeah.
He's eaten a lot of stuff before. He's more than fine eating greasy. Honestly, it's meat, and it's good. Even if it's not the best meat. Yeah, he got an 8 on his survival check.
Okay, roll me a d6. That is definitely enough for you to get rations. Okay. You can get 1 contaminated ration. And normally you can choose to just take clean ones, but that reduces it by half. You don't have that option.
I rolled garbage.
Yeah. But you also get 1 tech level 0 spare part.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that's a representation of like the like scavengeable pieces that you can eat, maybe like the fangs or some of the skin, stuff like that.
Oh, snake fang dagger sounds pretty badass, by the way.
Yeah, it does. Alright.
So you can use that to go repair things like the knife you used. Or your sword. Technically, you can use some of these snake parts to repair your sword.
My sword is technically tech level 0.
Yeah.
Even though it's actually a properly smelted sword.
Yeah, I think all of the, I think a bunch of the melee weapons fall under tech level 0.
Yeah, so...
Oh no, sword's tech level 1. Sorry. Okay. It's a spear and a knife that are tech level 0. I thought sword was included. I thought that was the final one, but it is tech level 1. So you can repair your knife with that.
That's always good to have. But yeah, the Lord Keep... Oh, shoot. Should I have had a benefit because I used a meta tool?
No, a meta tool just gives you the ability to do that.
Oh, okay.
I was using that in place of a knife. It's not going to give you a benefit.
I also have the... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I butchered the snake, gets food from the snake, as much food as we might have hoped. Snake wasn't as big as most of its brethren, so there wasn't quite as much to get from it. So the Lord Keeper is freaking exhausted.
Yeah.
He may not have been quite as good at butchering the snake as normal. Because he is actually pretty good at this sort of thing generally, so I'm saying he was exhausted, so... Like, accidentally punctured, like, snake's ladder or something, and so probably he was contaminated, so they only got some of it.
Fair?
I know, yeah, a little bit about that. Anyway, so the Lord Keeper butchers the snake. I'll add a dirty ration. Right. Should be safe now from the eggs. One can move in from a place that's got a roof here and hole up. Got some food, ourselves prepared for rest, and then we'll be able to head out the next day or so. We'll all come covered.
Let's see what we can find inside them. Let's explore and see what's here.
If you ask me, our first step should be to find the generator room, try to see if we get power on this place. Working in the dark isn't doing so well.
First step is to get everybody inside to a room. Know how much chance there is that you'll be the lights come on in this place.
Now David's playing Stardew Valley.
But the guardians doubt the guiding spirit has touched this place. Doubt her work. This place is don't take.
It's worth a check at least. Maybe we can salvage some parts.
Jacob, if you're saying anything, you've been you're muted.
I'm not saying anything. I'm listening, but I'm not saying anything. I do my best not to interrupt you guys. When you guys go back, you get are you guys going back to get everyone else, or are you gonna make your way in first?
Keeper had already called out for everyone to come forward with you.
Yeah, they'll come out. I mean, they all look fine. A few of them are really worried about the dead snake in front of you. And most of them are at least a little surprised at first. But I don't think anyone actually, specifically brings it up to you guys. There are definitely some whispers amongst each other, though, about this, horrifying beast in front of them that's, just missing big chunks of it.
Well, right. Go in, find a room. Seems defendable. Hole up there. Food. All can rest. And then we can rest, recover, get ready to move out. And then we'll get some food. Snake. And help.
Nice.
Some of you. Head in.
Let's do it.
Keeper will go in first, I guess. Shield up there ready.
Okay. Yeah, you walk in. What? Anyone here have literacy?
Yes.
The Lord Keeper can read.
Okay.
I think everybody.
The Lord Keeper can read. Get the book. The Lord Keeper can read.
I'm not the reader of the book. You don't know.
Well, I'm telling you. He can read the book.
Yeah, as you're walking in through the main entrance, you see what looks like a concession stand in one corner, a ticket booth immediately in front of you, above which says the White Rhinos, and then off to the right side, you see a hallway with a sign that says restrooms underneath it, points down there. And it's pretty well preserved when it comes to ruins. You still see debris everywhere, but the fact that a stadium this size is still standing is a testament to itself. and you can see there are, like, past these ticket booths in front of you, there are 2 hallways that seem to turn in towards each other around the structure that is the ticket booths, presumably towards, the same hallway.
Now we are inside.
Yes.
And there is a roof in this area?
Yes.
This particular okay. Get up here. Gotta find somewhere a little bit more isolated. We need to set up camp somewhere. To rest. Think. We rest. We can explore, salvage what we can here. Move on. I think a lot of us are exhausted all day.
That creature probably kept away some of the local other predators, and so this particular entrance might be safer than others. So this might be a good spot for the moment, at least, until we can explore further.
Good check. There. It's up the signs that the restrooms. Those are closed off rooms. Are defendable entrance. And Snake could have been in there. Young want to know they're there. Otherwise, this room seems good. Or we can rest in one of those once we've cleared it. Only one door in. Defendable.
There might be a storage room for the concession stand as well, and possibly some kind of office, because someone was in charge, and usually they would like their own space. We might want to look for those as well. They're probably somewhere.
Sure, he actually knows what a restroom is for. But he's seen restrooms before.
Yeah, a lot of buildings you go into have restrooms. I think it's fair to put together what they're for.
Okay. That's fair. Okay, I was just... Okay.
You've probably never seen a working restroom, but yeah. That's one of those common pieces of knowledge that pretty much everyone would know about. Like, they used to be a thing.
Okay, well, the Lord Keeper is gonna go check the men's restroom first.
Someone want to roll me 2d20s?
Sure, I could do that.
2d20s, minus 4.
Minus 4?
Yep. I know it's a weird number, but it makes sense to me. Okay. Thank you. They're asking for some weird things of me. So who's going to check out the restrooms to see if there's any young?
Anything there? The Lord Keeper is going to check out the restroom.
Okay.
Anyone else is going to come with him? He is going to check the restroom.
Actually, we'll probably take a look around, see if she can find some kind of maintenance act. Somewhere
Guys, have you ever seen Fallout? There's always stuff in the bathroom.
Right?
You gotta move the toilet, man! There's always stuff in the toilet!
At the very least, there should be some radiated water in there you can drink.
Yeah!
God! I've seen so many memes about that. It's not as funny.
There have actually been cases in when I played Fallout where I have drank out of the toilet to restore health while fighting bandits because I had no other way to heal myself.
I've never done like I think it's called a survival playthrough where you have to do food and water, but yeah, if you're gonna do survival playthrough, especially if it's on New Vegas, you have to drink out of toilets in the early game. You just have to. There's no way around it. Yeah, so we have Lord Keeper of the Book going to check out the restrooms. We have Ashley looking around for some kind of access tunnel. What do we have Bress up to?
Bress wants to look for a manager's office and see if he can find one.
Oh, okay. I think Rika will tag along with Ashley. Let's start with Bress. Is there any particular place you're looking for, or is there just like in this room that I've already described to you guys? You're just gonna look around here, see if there's anything I haven't thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to him that it would most likely be somewhere near, the main entrance. So that's kind of where he'd be looking for. Potentially behind the ticket area or something.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a perception check. God, Oh, and that image I showed you guys earlier, I'll throw it up again. I think it's fair for me to tell you what the name is. If anyone wants to give a guess, this is my final chance to let you guys guess before I reveal it.
Ship is in three. The ship's split into three parts on a plateau.
I can see why you would think that. What was that, Scott?
Is it Camelback?
No. Good one, though. I like both these. What's yours, Will?
I'm going to kind of go along with what Steven said, go with Crash Site.
Okay. No, for this piece of art, unfortunately, none of you guys were correct, though I do like all of your ideas. I went with Boogity, Boogity, Boogity. And that's what they gave me.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
You guys are at a racetrack. Boogity, 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 let's go racing. From NASCAR?
No, what I meant was the art they gave us. So not, like, I don't see how that connects at all. So.
Neither do I. Out of all the art pieces I've done from this website, this is the one that makes the least amount of sense.
Maybe it just looks like a couple of like alien creatures playing around with paint.
Maybe those look like buildings in the background, and yeah, maybe those are frogs wearing hats. I don't really know what they are.
It's abstract art at the very least.
But like some of them make sense. Like here, this one right here is one of the name suggestions that you guys threw out, the Lunar Exodus. I get that one. That one makes sense to me.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool artwork.
So what I've actually been doing, what I did for the first two sessions is I took your guys' recommendations and I kind of smushed them together in ways I thought sounded cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I had an idea for this week. I had one that I thought was kind of funny, so I went with it.
You boogity.
I hate to say it, but I kind of have to go now because I gotta get ready for.
Okay.
You did say you had to leave a little early, so
Yeah.
we were expecting that.
Honestly, surprised you made it this far.
I wanted to go as far as I could.
I originally thought about leaving around 2 o'clock, but then that whole fight and everything started happening. Started making that kind of progress, and I thought, you know what, I want to see this through, see what happens.
Okay. I appreciate it, Will, and I'm glad we had you here today, and I hope you enjoy the new Matrix movie with your fam.
Thank you.
Did we get XP for discovering the racetrack?
Yes. And I'll give you the 100 today.
Okay.
Because even if I go with my new system, I think this is an important monument. This is an important place.
This is a pretty cool place that we found. Stadium. There's something wrong with the land around here. The Lord Keeper doesn't know what it is. He just knows something's funky.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on here.
So despite also the snake really shouldn't have been here. Too far north for the snake. Shouldn't have been here. So he's kind of like.
This is definitely a head scratcher.
Something strange in the neighborhood.
And now he's got to search the bathroom.
if you guys are okay with it, now that we're gonna be 2 people down, I would like to pause the session here.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't saying that would happen. That we would continue to do that now. I was saying that we was going to search the bathroom.
This game definitely does have me, at least me personally, feeling like out of all my games, this is the one where I like, as soon as the session's over, I'm like, I wish we had more time to play. Like, I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, I definitely am definitely curious to see what is going to end up happening with our explorations. Yeah, as someone who's played all those like survival games, it's like, yes, we gotta search the bathroom.
We should buy up the crash site.
Yeah.
There's 3 sessions to do it, but...
So, can I just ask, what was it that was happening? The crash site with the spitting blood stuff?
Do you want me to tell you what was going on there? Are you sure?
I just was curious.
Okay. I'm not gonna tell you everything, but I'll let you know, like, I will confirm some stuff you guys said. It is some kind of airborne leak. I don't want to get into any more specifics, but it was already happening before Rika got down there, but she accelerated it.
Yeah, I figured that like disengaged safety systems and the fuel started to mix or something it wasn't supposed to.
Bad things happen.
And in a couple of hours, that entire section's gonna go up in a giant explosion.
You might come back there one day and it might look very different. We'll have to see. But it is in a very prominent, obvious spot. That is one thing that, like, the 2 locations you guys have been to are, like, easy to spot from a distance. They're definitely important places, for different reasons. Obviously, the plateau is going to have a special place in all the Lunites' hearts.
Yeah, this will be an adventure. Unfortunately, no sign of horse. I love that my short-term goal might end up taking longer than people's long-term goals.
We also have been going a little bit slower than I initially expected. I am trying to hasten that, though.
Okay. So I have a question on that. If a short-term goal, like what my short-term goal is, does end up taking way longer than we thought it would, does this mean that it's going to change the XP amount for it, or...
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that... Okay.
I don't think it'll be much, because, like, I don't want to just make all of your goals worth a bunch more because we're going slow. What I want to do is make it so that, like, we start going faster, more... I don't think... I think I want something more akin to the one-shot we did on Sunday, when it comes to pace. Now that I look at all the content I had in the one-shot, I wish it was a little bit faster, or like a little bit faster and maybe a slightly longer session, or maybe I just need to, because quite a bit of this is like on my end. I think I need to, I'm like intentionally making the places that you guys have been to like big. But I think with the kind of goals you guys have, it's just not as immediately obvious. Like, I have a bunch of, no spoilers, but I have a bunch of shit written down here of different places you can interact with, and that doesn't even show all the things you could do in them. So, like, realistically, you guys could spend sessions at the racetrack if you want to, because how big it is, and that was the idea with the plateau. With the plateau, it wasn't intentional, though. The plateau, I thought, okay, we'll probably do like a session to a session and a half, and then it was like 2.5 sessions.
We did end up with a little bit of with the party, and then we had Rika's great adventure.
Yeah.
I hope whatever's going on with John resolves.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I hope he is doing okay.
It sounds like it will. It sounds It's like he thinks it's short-term at least.
Yeah. But I want everyone to be here to answer this. So like maybe I'll what I'll try and do is maybe try and get you guys together for a little bit sometime before the next session. Or I guess you guys all play on Sunday, so I could just ask you Sunday. But if you guys want to answer now, feel free. I know I need to mess around with the... Yeah. I know I need to mess around with the pacing. But like I am creating these places with the intent, the first two that you guys have been to, with the intent of them being like bigger ruins, at least when it comes to content inside of them for you guys to interact with that I've come up with, as opposed to, you know, potentially coming up with stuff on the spot. If you guys feel like I should be giving you some shorter ruins for stuff that's not like foreshadowed as being big, I'm okay with adjusting that. I don't know. I just the reason I've been doing it is because it's like I have a really good idea for what you guys can do here and how you can interact with it, and I'm like, here's a bunch of cool stuff we could do with this one this one set piece. In this case, the racetrack.
Supposed to fight the snake.
You didn't have to fight the snake, but you could fight the snake. I'm not... With the way I'm doing this isn't like Pathfinder. I'm not doing this where every fucking place you go to, there's a list of things you have to do if you want to get the full thing out of it. I'm like, here's some ideas I have for all these different places you can go into. And then if I come up with some new shit during the session, I'll add it in there. If you guys ask me shit that I think makes sense, I've thrown some things in these in the 3 sessions we've had. I've thrown a handful of things in just based on stuff you guys have brought up, either asking or joking about, or like just throwing hypotheticals out. I've been like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool and it makes sense, so let's fucking do it.
Okay.
Um,
And I've been trying to also.
I hope that it comes across okay to both of you guys, because everyone's here. But hopefully you guys have been getting, I've been trying to do world building, you know, and stuff with the characters, with like what he says and things like that. I'm pretty sure most of what he says, you guys have no, like other players like Skylar that have no real favorite reference for what they mean yet. But
yeah.
hope that that's been cool.
It is kind of a weird headset to get in. Like, it's I know it's weird for some people. I'm used to it because I go really hard with the way I like role play my characters. But I know for some people it's weird to be like, my character doesn't know what a vulture is. How would they respond?
Or all they talk about the guiding spirit and all this stuff. It's like, okay, what's this?
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on like the way that like the stuff has been run so far? Like specifically when it comes to like content inside and length of time spent in like the wreck, for example.
I mean, I definitely think the wreck dragged, but I don't really think that was your fault. I don't really know. I don't know. It was partly us. I don't know.
I think it was more for John than he didn't seem very engaged, and he was the person who was doing the most with the wreck.
He did do a lot today.
And I don't think you did anything wrong, Jacob, is what I'm saying.
I think
we
John
have
in
a situation.
situations felt frustrated that he wasn't doing anything, and he's trying to correct that. And I don't know.
I was glad to see him take the initiative today, but
Yeah, so was I at the same time, you know, we're on camera and I'm trying not to like roll my eyes.
Oh yeah, I was also trying not to. I was like, especially with his like where he was like trying to cover like Ivan's mouth. I'm like, dude, you don't cover the guy's mouth when he's trying not when he's coughing up blood. I'm gonna shove my hand over his mouth. I couldn't help it. A little bit of pop came out there. I was like, wait, what are you doing?
Ivan definitely has things to say about that. He just hasn't yet. Like I said, Ivan has had
Had a
day.
Yeah. It seemed really. It seemed like as good as it could be for like a space crash. I don't know. Is that the right term? Because you have a plane crash. Space crash sounds weird. I guess it's a
ship crashed.
Yeah.
A crash.
Yeah.
Just say it's a crash.
There we go.
It's a space crash. It's just a crash.
Yeah. It was going as good as it could be for that at first, but today it went.
Ivan literally was. Ivan literally was a character who Will hadn't used a patch him. He was just dead in session 1.
He would have died session 1. Session 2, he blacked out. And then
Saved by the Lord Keeper.
Yeah.
The Lord Keeper had expended a significant amount of effort to save him from being impaled on a freaking pole in the ship.
And then session 3, who was exposed to chemicals. Yeah. He's... Of all the NPCs, he's definitely had one of the harder times.
I also feel bad for the kid.
Yeah.
It's had a rough time.
Yeah.
What mutations Ivan's gonna get if the NPCs are gonna mutate?
No.
I was really hoping to get... I was really hoping to get Rika's mutations in today. God damn it.
So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with that. The Lord Keeper definitely... It'd probably take a pretty hefty dose of shit to make him mutate more. He's our old, very long standing.
I'm confident that in the next 4 hours of gameplay, there will be mutations going on.
We get to see the interesting thing that is them changing, and we get to see the Bress, because he's pure strain human. He just doesn't change. He just can't change. He's immune to the mutating effects of High Shine, because he's super pure human.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, High Shine tries, and it's just like, nope. It's too perfect. I can't get anything to use it.
My genes are too good. I love that the noble guy has, like, as far as the game's concerned, perfect genes. I'm just built differently.
I've liked playing the Lord Keeper.
Your wings are coming really handy.
Yeah, the wings? Yeah!
And the 3 people that can't climb, that landed on top of a big-ass plateau.
He really, though, I'm gonna just say this, he really needs rest. The dude is seriously, like...
Everyone needs to rest. There isn't a single person. You've been up for almost a day at this point, Lord. The Lord Keeper's been up for like almost a day at this point.
Right, 1 HP.
Yeah, she's almost dead.
And fatigued.
Yeah, fatigued on almost everyone. God, and like, here's something to think about. Like, how many people, including the NPCs, are going to end up getting mutated at some point?
Yeah, in the next 4 hours, people start turning into monsters.
Oh, mutations happen. That is the thing.
Yeah. It's just most people have...
There's no High Shine on Luna.
Most people... Yeah. Most people have hereditary mutations. Most people don't mutate on the spot. That's what's going to happen to all these people.
Some people, it is something that has been heard of.
Yeah.
It's just fucking rare. It's like it's their first. They just came down. Lord Keeper's gonna be like, oh boy, that starts happening. Just came down. They've just been exposed. They just got exposed to a whole bunch of shit. Okay, yeah. Start changing. Or if they're going to change, this will hurt. Yeah, that's a lot of people mutating all at once.
I mean, everyone probably took a lot of radiation from just the crash, if nothing else, and yeah, now High Shine is looking in, yeah.
I think I am going to take off, though. I will be seeing you guys in what, like, about an hour?
About an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, for War for the Crown. So
I know I said it last week, but you guys will never fucking like when we start this session, you're gonna be like, I can't believe this is in Pathfinder. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so awesome. I'm so excited.
I have no freaking clue.
No.
This is a question though. So
Yeah.
our party for War for the Crown
Yes.
is me, Tyler, Owen, Damien, and forgetting.
Oh, here.
Here, yes.
Yes.
Because Owen came back, Will is not joining us for the one.
No.